All right, radio check, radio check. We should be live. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Welcome along to the coverage for the Imola Grand Prix. We have got all of the drivers making their way towards the starting grid now. As you can see, everyone is there apart from Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. We are 30 minutes away from the start of the race, and we have got a lot to look forward to. This one is going to be mega. All right, so yeah, of course, we had Oscar Piastri on pole position. Great lap from him yesterday. Max Verstappen got mightily close to topping him, but was 34 thousandths back. Unfortunate, but we shall see what he can do from second place here today. We've got a pit stop strategy from Pirelli, and Pirelli say that a two-stop is possible. And just looking at that track temperature there, you can see at the bottom left of the screen, it is 46-degree track temperature, which means that a two-stop is all the more likely just because we have a much higher rate of tyre wear due to the higher tyre temperatures. So, yeah, it should be pretty good to see. To see what's going to happen today. You know, some drivers will definitely try to do a one-stop, some drivers will try to do a two-stop, and we'll just have to see the difference between that. But that's going to really spice things up here, because what they have done is they have brought the tyres a step softer compared to last year. Last year it was a very clear one-stop. Nobody really tried to do a two-stop, and they were just like, right, well, it's a two-stop, and it's a one-stop, and then they just called it a day. But now we've got a step softer tyres, which makes it much harder to do a one-stop, and the teams are now going to have to experiment. Is it going to be a two-stop? Is it going to be a one-stop? It'll depend on the tyre temperature. All right. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. We've got 1,300 people tuning into live stream already. That is fantastic. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. It really does help out the channel, especially at the start of live streams. The wind is at 11.5 kilometers per hour, so it's not too well. It's quite strong, to be fair, but it's not gusting about. It's pretty consistent, so the drivers don't have to worry about it too much. All right. A couple of other things to note. When the drivers do drive through the pit lane here in Imola, they do lose 28 seconds of lap time. This is the longest pit lane in the Formula One calendar. If they pit under safety car or virtual safety car conditions, they save 10 seconds, so they'll only lose 18 seconds of time, not 28 seconds of time. But regardless, a very long pit lane here in Imola, and that makes a two-stop very difficult, but we'll wait and see what happens. If we look at the previous races here from 2020 to 2024, we have a safety car chance of 75%. And, as we saw yesterday, very easy to crash. Just dip a wheel onto the grass, go slightly harshly over a curb, and then, you're just into the barriers, and then we get a safety car, which is going to be fantastic. F1 Gamer, can you add the mini sectors back in? Unfortunately for the races, we don't keep the mini sectors because it's not particularly relevant. It's much more important to have all of the lap times and the intervals and the tyres for that. So the mini sectors are for qualifying and for practice, and then for the race we have a slightly different setup. It's just like I can show you. I just have it set up here. I can just switch between quali and the race, but the mini sectors are much better for the race. Okie dokes. So I suspect Ferrari's going to use Plan F again. Yeah, Plan F for messing up or effing up, as I don't know. Ferrari, it hasn't been a great weekend for them. I mean, for any of the Italian teams, there's only one Italian car in the top 10, and that is the AlphaTauri or the Racing Bull, whatever you want to call it. They do have a factory out in Faenza, and that is where the part of the Racing Bull gets designed. And yeah, very unfortunate there for, Kimi Antonelli as well. He got eliminated out in Q2. George Russell up in third position. Antonelli down in 13th at his home race as well. Not ideal, especially after, that amazing performance that we saw in Miami. You would have expected, maybe Antonelli will be able to get up into Q3, potentially get close to George Russell. But I think that was just a one-off, really good performance from Antonelli. And now he's going to have to claw his way back through the field, which is going to be a very tall order, given that there's two Ferraris ahead of him. And, let's say if there was an Alpine or a Racing Bull ahead of him, it would have been a straightforward, easy overtake. Or easier compared to the Ferraris, but the Ferraris do have good pace in the race, and that's going to make things a lot harder for Kimi Antonelli. All right. Let's see, what else have we got? FIA rules evaluation. Yeah, penalty. I should get a penalty for swearing there. Oops. But also, I've got to say, Fernando Alonso, great lap from him, up into 5th position yesterday, and the Williams are in an Aston Martin sandwich, but the Williams have fantastic performance, so does Fernando Alonso, so does Lance Stroll. The upgrades have really worked out for them, so things are on the up for Aston Martin. Maybe they'll have one more upgrade package before they totally switch over to 2026 development, but yeah, a good sign, at least, for the Aston Martin team. All right, I shall take you through an onboard of the lap. We got 2,000 people tuned into live stream. Very much is appreciated here, ladies and gents. I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. So I'll show you a lap of Imola, what to expect, where to watch out for overtaking opportunities. Here we go. So where is it? I forgot the... Oh, there we go. Okay. So you make your way towards the final corner. In fact, I should probably make this a bit bigger, since we haven't got all that much going on right now. I could probably put that over there. And here we go. Okay. So the most important thing is that when you're starting a flying lap, you want to get a good exit, and this is where the DRS detection point is. So just at this point here, as you dip down the hill where that sort of bridge was, that's where the DRS detection point is. The driver's going to be very careful to stay within DRS. And you've got one very long DRS zone at Imola, only one, and it's down the main straight here. You open the DRS flap, you reach 320 k's per hour with the DRS, and you make your way down towards turn number 1. Verstappen will have the outside line, Piastri will have the inside line. That's the way the starting grid is set up. So the driver on pole position will have the inside line at turn number 1, the driver in second place the outside. So we'll see what Piastri does. Does he just push Verstappen off the road? We'll have to wait and see. But you make your way through the Villeneuve chicane. This is where Tsunoda crashed yesterday. Now through Tosa, the slowest corner on the circuit. Very important to get good traction up the hill here. And you can also slipstream a little bit. There's a quite a lengthy bit of straight here, so you can slipstream and get close to the driver ahead of you. Piratella, just hit that apex. Don't go wide because there is gravel there on the exit. Same here for Aqua Minerale. You're braking, turning at the same time, but you, get a good exit out of that corner now towards Variante Alta, where you want to make sure that you drive over these curbs because it does gain you a whole bunch of lap time. And now you go down the hill towards Ravazza. At this point, if it was a qualifying lap, your tyres would be screaming, but on race runs, everyone's going to be going a little bit less attack, and they should be all right to manage their tyres. And then you just come out the final corner and you get a nice exit onto the main straight. Hopefully, slipstream and DRS past your opposition. But that is a lap of Imola, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. All right. Oh, ads. Let me just block the adverts. Apologies there. All right. So no more adverts for you folks. Yeah, apologies. YouTube just, well, if I'm not paying attention, I forget to block the adverts. YouTube will just shove them in your face, so apologies for that. Hopefully no more of that for the rest of the stream. Pit lane exit is closed, and it looks like Tsunoda starting from the pit lane here, ladies and gentlemen. He is making some setup changes to his car to optimize his car for race conditions, and this is actually quite beneficial because here in Imola we do know qualifying is very important, and because of that a lot of teams do compromise their race setup and they say, oh, we're going to go for a qualifying oriented setup and qualify as high up the grid as possible, then try and hold position, but then that means your tires really do suffer throughout the race. So Yuki Tsunoda, by taking a sort of a race-oriented setup where his tyres aren't going to be too worn out, that should really help him out with the overtaking. A lot of drivers, when trying to make an overtake, they're going to struggle with overheating issues, being stuck in the dirty air of the driver ahead of you, and that is, well, going to overheat their tyres. So Tsunoda should be slightly less affected by that and will hopefully make some progress up through the field. It's going to be a very tall order, I must say, starting from 20th to make it into the points, but that's what Tsunoda's got to do. All right. What is happening with Ferrari? They brought upgrade packages. They look more like downgrade packages, and that's probably the best explanation we've got. Yeah. Can Yuki race or not? He will be racing. The question is, will he be able to make overtakes? I'm not so sure. All right, we are now 20 minutes away from the start of the race. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Do let me know what you think is going to happen in today's race. I have a feeling Verstappen will lead at the end of turn number one. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's going to somehow get an amazing start. And then also, the thing is, going into turn number one, he's going to have the outside line unless he can dart to the inside somehow, which is going to be very tricky. So as you can see, the starting grid is quite a ways back from turn number one, so he's got a while to be able to slipstream past Piastri if he wants to, or he could just get a better start and cut across him. But it's going to be a very, very difficult scenario for Verstappen to have the inside line. If he doesn't have the inside line, then it's super easy for Piastri just to go, all right, I'm just going to cut you up and chop you off at the apex and say see you later, and drive off into the sunset like he did in Miami. We will have to wait and see. Of course, Norris will do his best as well to close up, but George Russell won't make it very easy on him. And Alonso, we know he's great around this circuit. He's done his fair share of defending around here back in 2005 and 6. So maybe we'll see something similar. Alright, which channel can I watch F1 with a VPN? It is ORF. Let me just put a link into the chat. I am sponsored by Surfshark VPN here, ladies and gents. So if you do want to watch the Formula 1 coverage for $2 a month, then all you've got to do is get Surfshark VPN, and let me just put the instructions up on the screen. Get Surfshark VPN, download it onto your computer, join an Austrian VPN server, search ORF into Google, and enjoy. This weekend it'll be ORF, next weekend it'll be Service TV, the following weekend it'll be ORS. It just keeps alternating. Yeah, that's how you do it. We've got around 100 people on the stream doing that already, so yeah, it works for anywhere around the world. It's all legal and everything, so go ahead and check that out. All right, let me just get rid of that. There we go. Okay, 18 minutes. So the pit stop strategy, as I said earlier, it's going to be start the race on the medium tires, then go on to the hard tires. The soft tires are not considered a race tire whatsoever. They were overheating yesterday during quali laps. Stroll and Alonso, in fact, set their best quali laps on medium tires because they weren't suffering from the overheating issues that the soft tires were. So yeah, soft tires totally out of the question. Unless we get a safety car with like 3-4 laps left to go, then you could think about using softs. Otherwise, it is totally pointless and will ruin your race strategy if you go on soft. So start the race on the medium tires and then pit around lap number 19 to 25 if you're going to do a one stop, pit onto the hards and go to the end of the race. Or if you want to do a two-stop, pit between lap number 12 and 18, pit onto the hards for your second stint, and then pit onto your hards again between lap number 34 and 40 for your third stint. And yeah, that is essentially the race strategy for this weekend. Let's have a look at the constructors standing. So let me get rid of this, and then we've got the championship standing. As you can see, Piastri is up there at the top. We've got Verstappen in third, Russell in fourth, Leclerc fifth, Antonelli sixth, Hamilton seventh, Albon in eighth in the constructors, and then a lot more. I've got these constructor standings up as well. I think it's a fairly nice addition to the stream. So let me let me know if you think we should keep this. I think during the race I'll switch it. Once the pit stops have been finished, I'll get rid of the pit stop windows and I'll put the drivers' championships up. But yeah, as you can see, Piastri 131 points, Norris 115, Verstappen 99. There's quite a big difference there. Point difference of 32 points between Verstappen and Piastri. He's got a lot of ground to make up in this weekend, and he's got a lot of down limitation to do. Oh, Exoteric, thank you for the $10 donation. Just support. Thanks for making the race weekend so much fun. Well, very much is appreciated, buddy. And yeah, thank you again for the donation. I mean, I think if there is anyone that's donated the most to the channel, it's most definitely you. So yeah, huge thank you. Evan Gamer, do you know why Ferrari messes up this bad constantly? They are so experienced, richest team probably. They have all the resources and professional they need. Yeah, okay, so well, there is a quote somewhere, I don't know exactly where it's from, but the quote says something along the lines of, if you look at Ferrari from the outside, you question why don't they win everything all of the time, which is exactly what you've basically asked. You know, they've got all of the money in the world, all the professionals in the world. And the second half of the quote is, if you look at Ferrari from the inside, you wonder how they win anything at all. And essentially, I think it's just sort of the team dynamics at Ferrari. There's a lot of, very passionate people, a lot of egos being thrown around, and essentially that's Ferrari seems like a fairly toxic work environment. Yeah, and I can't really go into many more details than that. I don't have the details myself, but Ferrari, I don't know what happens. Somehow they can always dial up a car that is second or third fastest for the majority of seasons they're in Formula One, but they can never generate a car that is a championship winner. It's been such a long time since they've done that. It is, just a bit of a mess, really. All right. Enjoying the F1 TV stats here and watching SRF in German. The commentary in German is professional, no tedious ums and ums. Yeah, I do apologise. I will try and reduce the amount of times I say ums and ums, but after all, it's just me commentating, no co-commentator, and I'll try and do my best. All right. So we are 15 minutes away from the start of the race. A lot of focus has been put on Williams. They have generated some fantastic performance in the past couple of weekends, and I think this weekend, firstly, I'm hoping for a Williams podium. I really would love to see either an Aston Martin or a Williams on the podium. It would be mega, but for that to happen, Lando Norris and George Russell can't be on the podium. Let's say Piastri and Verstappen end up in first or second position. We don't know which order, but then Alonso or Sainz or Albon or Stroll are going to have to make 2 overtakes on Norris and Russell, which is going to be extremely difficult. So we shall just have to wait and see what happens. But it would be fantastic if they could do that. We know in the past, last weekend, the Williams, and the weekend before that as well, the Williams were working as a team, sort of, defending against Stroll behind them, defending against anyone behind them, using DRS to their advantage. So maybe we will see if that happens again this weekend. All right. Thank you for the donation, SP1K3. A good strategy for the pits, better early or later. Well, considering, it depends what the tyre wears like. As you can still see, track temperature is 46 degrees, so it does make sense. The undercut will be pretty powerful, so coming in early will be fantastic. The warmer the track temperature, the more the tyre wear, the undercut becomes more and more powerful. So I would say as the track temperature is fairly high, I expect the drivers pitting early will benefit. Nicholas Fishers, thank you for the donation. Let's love this channel. Let's get you to 250k subs this season. Let's effing go. Well, very much appreciate the donation, buddy, and hopefully we can hit 250. I think 250 is a little bit out of reach, but 200 for sure is definitely on the cards. The target for today is 160k subs. If we can hit that, then we will. Actually, is it 160? I think it's actually 161. I must have typed that in wrong, but yeah, the target is 161k subs today for. To put us on track for hitting 200 by the end of the season. So folks, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. Very much would be appreciated. All right. And if you haven't hit the like button as well, be sure to do that. We'll be fantastic to get 1,000 likes before the start of the stream. What should the strategy be? Hard, 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 medium, or medium, hard? The strategy probably medium, hard, hard, or medium, hard. That's probably the strategy. If you're, say, Yuki Tsunoda, you want to do an alternate strategy where at the end of the race you're going to be making all the overtakes, and maybe Tsunoda starts the race on the hards and then goes on to the mediums at the end of the race. That's sort of what the strategy is, and that's what they're thinking about. Okay, who do you think has a more toxic work environment, Red Bull or Ferrari? I mean, this is a competition that you don't want to be winning, and Red Bull and Ferrari are both definitely up there. I would not be able to say. I haven't worked at either of the teams, so unfortunately, I have no idea. The subscriber ratio for the channel is good. Well, actually, it's 75% of the people that watch the channel aren't subscribed, so I wouldn't say that's amazing, really. But it's all right. Do you think Verstappen got second on purpose so he gets a better race line? No. Verstappen definitely would have wanted first place because here in Imola, okay, so I'll show you essentially, I can show you on the onboard if we fast forward a little bit. As you come down the main straight here, yeah, so the drivers, as you can see there, the lights are up here. So the driver that is on pole position is going to be on the left-hand side here, and the driver, Max Verstappen, is going to be on the right-hand side. So going towards turn number 1, which is a left-hand corner, Piastri will have the inside line, Verstappen will have the outside line. And as we know, if you are on the inside line, you can just push the driver who's on the outside line off the circuit. No issues there, as long as you get the apex. So, I'm not saying those are the best rules for the FIA, but that is what the rules are. And Piastri will most likely have the inside line unless Verstappen can pull off an absolutely insane start, and then Verstappen will be on the outside line, which is going to compromise him really. Ideally he would want the inside, but we shall wait and see what happens. Verstappen can always pull off some ridiculous maneuver, and maybe he'll be able to stick it around the outside. We'll just have to wait and see. In fact, I can show you it's actually what could happen here at turn number 1. So you make your way down towards turn number 1, and essentially Piastri will be on the apex. Piastri will be on the apex here, and if Verstappen is on the right-hand side, so let's imagine this car is not a Red Bull, it's a McLaren. So the McLaren's on the apex. If the Red Bull is on the right-hand side, Piastri can just drive straight to the next apex. Verstappen will have nowhere to go, will be forced to back out of it, otherwise he's going to have to drive over the gravel. And if he does that, then that's losing 5, 10, 15 positions, like huge loss of lap time. So he cannot afford to do that, and the driver who is on the apex will probably take the lead into turn number 2 and 3. So the most important thing is be on the apex, and we'll wait and see what happens. All right. We've got a replay, of some previous starts, and Verstappen got a great start in 2021. He was on the inside line compared to Hamilton, and essentially Hamilton tried to swoop around the outside. Verstappen was like, no thank you, you can drive over those curbs, and Verstappen took the lead into turn number 2 and 3. So Piastri will be looking to do the exact same. If he can hold that inside line, he's going to just move over to the left, not let Verstappen get there. And then, it might have actually been even more ideal for Verstappen to be in 3rd position rather than in 2nd. Because if he was in 3rd, then at least maybe he could slipstream Piastri down the inside, slipstream him down the straight and then pull over to the inside. But 2nd position, he's going to be on the outside line. It's going to be a tough situation for him. Okay. Let's wait and see what else will happen then. We're 8 minutes away from the start of the race, and we have got a pretty exciting race ahead for us. Some more things to talk about is what will Lando Norris do? How will he be able to recover? Will he be stuck behind Max Verstappen for the rest of this race? Because as we know, overtaking here in Imola is very difficult, similar to Suzuka. And what happened in Suzuka, Max Verstappen had a sensational lap, stuck it on pole position, and the McLarens were unable to pass for the majority of the race. So is that something that we're going to see again? Is Verstappen just going to defend for his life against Russell and Norris until the final lap of the race, or is something else going to happen? We'll just have to wait and see. At what point does the slipstream turn into the dreaded dirty air? The slipstream is great when you're going through the straights, and it turns into dirty air once you're going through the corners. So it's a double-edged sword, really, and there's no other way to sort of describe it. If you have enough, if you're close enough for slipstream, you're also close enough for dirty air. It's not like you can get one and you can't get the other. Okay, remove the tracks where it's difficult to overtake. Maybe do that. Maybe add a DRS zone here in Imola. You could have a DRS zone on the exit of 15 towards 17. That might help. And I think that could be an extra sort of opportunity for the drivers to get close. That would definitely help out. What's the difference between slipstream and dirty air? The slipstream is when you're going down the straight, it increases your top speed, and the dirty air is when you're going through the corners, it reduces your downforce. Alright, so here we are, 6 minutes away from the start of this race. We've got Oscar Piastri who's going to be starting in 1st position, Verstappen in 2nd, Russell in 3rd, Norris in 4th, and Alonso in 5th. Very, very exciting. How to watch F1 in Surfshark. All you've got to do is connect to an Austrian VPN server, and then you've got to search ORF on Google. I guess I'll just mention it one more time before the race begins. But I'm sponsored by Surfshark VPN, and you can watch Formula 1 for $2 a month. All you've got to do is get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description, link in the chat, and then you join the Austrian VPN server, you search ORF onto Google, and you enjoy Formula One coverage. It's as simple as that, really. Yeah. All right. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. We've got about 100 or 150 people doing it already. All right, also Colapinto as well. Didn't talk much about Colapinto yesterday. He did have a pretty good qualifying. However, he crashed out at the end of Q1. Made it through into Q2, which is still very, very good considering it's his first weekend in this car. And he also got handed a one-place grid penalty. He would have been in 15th position, but he was in 16th for a pit lane infringement during Q1. He came out of the pit lane too early during a red flag, and that resulted in him getting a one-place grid penalty, so he went from 15th to 16th. But regardless, it's going to be a tough race for him, and we'll see how he manages, really, because the Alpine is totally different to the Williams he was driving last season. He'll have to learn all of the new engine settings, all of the new modes, everything like that. It will be a totally different steering wheel as well, so learning all of that in the span of maybe 1 week, 1.5 weeks is very difficult. And yes, Colapinto has been working very hard, and we'll see if he can deliver and get close to Pierre Gasly, really. Gasly's been in fantastic form. Of course, the Alpine not so great this weekend, but he still managed to bring it through into Q3, which is fantastic for Pierre Gasly. And it looks like the Aston Martins have sort of leapfrogged a lot of teams. Aston Martin, if I told you last week Aston Martin probably got eliminated in Q2 or Q3, you would not be surprised. But now both of the cars made it through into Q3. And some fantastic performances from both drivers, but that upgrade package has really leapfrogged them up the pack. They've got quicker than the Alpines, they've got quicker than, Alonso's quicker than the Williams by the looks of it. They're quicker than the Racing Bulls, they're quicker than the Ferraris, so huge step up for Aston Martin, and I'm sure the guys back at the factory will be very, very pleased with that one. Williams podium question mark? Yeah, I think I would love to see a Williams podium. I don't know how likely it is, but a Williams podium or an Aston Martin podium would be absolutely mega. All right, we've got 10,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Very much is appreciated. And we'll be getting underway for the race in 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Not long now till we're underway for some racing. Okay, dokes, drop your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to be leading on the exit of lap number 1? And who do you think will be leading the race? Well, who do you think is going to be winning the race, really? Not, I was going to say leading the race on the last lap. That's essentially the same as winning. Also, how many overtakes do you think you're going to have? It's going to be a pretty... Oh, we've got the tyre information coming through here. So, by the looks of it, we have got Hamilton and Antonelli starting the race on the hards. Hulkenberg, Behrman and Sonoda also starting the race on the hards. Apart from that, everyone else is on mediums. Stroll and Alonso and Russell are on used medium tyres. Everyone else is on a fresh set of mediums. So... yeah, it should be an interesting race. Of course, Stroll, Alonso, and Russell, they're all on used mediums because they used them during qualifying yesterday because it looked like the medium tyres were quicker, and they indeed were, actually. At least for the Astons, they were. I think Russell also improved on his lap time on the medium tyres, so it was a pretty good bet for those guys, and they're only got 3 lap old tyres, and realistically, they're just 1 hot lap old because the out lap and the in laps are relatively slow, so they don't really count as tyre wear. So not too big of an issue for Alonso, Stroll, and Russell. And then, of course, they will have fresh sets of hards for the race today as well. 2-stop is the most likely strategy with track temperatures up at 45 degrees. The sun is baking the asphalt out in Imola, and the track temperatures are getting warmer and warmer, which means that, yeah, a 2-stop is all the more likely. Everyone give me your P5 to P10 prediction. Oh, I mean, that's a really tough one. I think the Ferrari's going to make their way into the points. And and the drivers that will drop out of the points will be Isaac Hadjar and Gasly, I think. But then the remaining drivers will hold position. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Astons and Williams do have good enough race pace. Maybe the Astons only have good quali pace. We don't know. This upgrade package is a sort of an unknown for them. Maybe they're really good in quali. Maybe they're not so good in the race. Let's wait and see. But we are a minute now away from the start of the formation lap. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We've got 13,000 people already on the stream. I'm going to have a quick sip of water, and then we'll have 63 laps of racing underway shortly. Okay. Please tell me where I can watch it. It is ORFO for Oscar, R for Race, F for Ferrari. That's what you got to Google once you've connected to an Austrian VPN server. All right, so here we go then. We'll have Yuki Tsunoda starting from the pit lane. He has got a modified setup to optimize his car for race conditions. Of course, they will have had to replace some things after his huge crash in yesterday's qualifying, but he is A-OK. His car has been repaired. Most likely, since from next weekend, they'll probably also have a new chassis, because that was a pretty big impact for Yuki Tsunoda, but we'll wait and see what happens. And as you can see, the timer now ticking down to 0 seconds, and we're about to get underway for some racing here in Imola, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The DRS zones. The DRS zones are just coming down the main straight. The purple dot that you can see, that is where the speed trap speeds are measured, and that is also where the DRS detection point is. So the drivers of Verstappen and Piastri, they'll all have to be within 1 second of each other at that purple dot, and if they are, then they get DRS down the next straight. Okay, chance of safety car 75%, and the time the drivers lose in the pit lane is 28 seconds. The 28 seconds is the longest pit lane on the Formula 1 calendar. That's what Imola has, so that makes a two-stop a little bit more unlikely, but looking at the tyre wear that we've seen just so far this weekend, I think it is... I think it's quite likely we'll still get one. Another huge radio message from Portoletto saying I've got understeer at turn 80 and oversteer at turn 90. I think that's once again another glitch in the system, but apart from that, all of the other team radio messages seem to be good. Colapinto comes over the radio to say thank you for all of the work from the mechanics, them working all night essentially to get that car replaced and repaired and ready to go to racing. The Tifosi are out. They've got their red smoke already flying, and they'll be hoping that Ferrari can make their way up onto at least the podium. But it's going to be a very tall order, and they're going to need a really good strategy and a couple of safety cars to help them out, I think. But here we are then, making our way around the Imola circuit for the formation lap. We've got Oscar Piastri leading the way. He's getting all of his brakes up to temperature, his tyres up to temperature, dialing in those clutch settings to get the best possible race start. And another thing to take into account here, Verstappen will position his car in not in the most straightforward direction. He's not going to be positioning the car directly forward. He's going to tilt it ever so slightly, a couple of degrees to the side, just so as soon as possible he can just chop up Oscar Piastri, cut him off if he gets a good start. If not, then it's going to be tucking into his slipstream. But Verstappen is going to be positioning his car at an angle to try and get into Piastri's toe ASAP without compromising his traction. But here we go. We've got 242,000 fans, 242,000 Tifosi here in Imola today, supporting Ferrari and Kimi Antonelli and all of the other drivers as well. We've got Piastri now lining up on the grid. Here we go then. So, Tsunoda actually isn't starting from the pit lane. I don't know why he was in the pits for the majority of the race start, but it looks like Tsunoda, maybe Tsunoda still will be coming into the pit lane. We'll get that figured out. Anyway, Piastri is lined up on the grid. Verstappen lines up in second position. We've got Russell in fourth, Russell in third, Norris in fourth. Fernando Alonso in fifth position, Sainz and Albon in sixth and seventh. Lance Stroll in eighth position. We've got Hadjar in ninth, and Pierre Gasly in 10th. Leclerc in 11th, Hamilton in 12th. They've got a lot of work to do in front of their home fans. Then Antonelli as well. He's at his home race, his first home race. He'll have another one in Monza later on in the season, but 13th place starting for him. Bortoletto in 14th, Lawson in 15th, Colapinto in 16th, Hulkenberg in 17th, Ocon in 19th, Ocon in 18th, Behrman in 19th. Tsunoda pulls into the pit lane. The last car has approached the grid here, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the final marshal. They're just at the back of the grid now, waving the green flag. The green flag is waving. We have got 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. The lights are out, and away we go. What a start here from George Russell, already pulling out to the side. Verstappen is under pressure here, going into turn number 1. Russell goes up into second position, and Verstappen just holds it around the outside. Very, very late on the brakes for Verstappen, and he gets ahead of Piastri as well. Wow, what a move from Verstappen up into the lead of this race. Piastri in second, Russell in third, and Norris in fourth. It's now ultra defensive from Max Verstappen. He's not going to lose a single position. That's his hope for the rest of this race. And we have got Hulkenberg in 18th position, Behrman in 19th, Bortoleto goes up one place, and Hadjar loses 2 positions off the race start. But apart from the top 2, the top 8 stay in the exact same position from the starting grid. Franz Hermann with a fantastic overtake into the lead of this race. And now Oscar Piastri, DRS will be enabled on the following lap. All he's got to do is stay within DRS detection point. 9/10 is the gap. Right now, he makes his way through Variante Alte, down the hill towards Rivazza. What can he do? The gap is 1.068. He just misses out on the DRS detection, and Max Verstappen has done exactly what he set out to do. He has broken the DRS. He's got the lead into turn number 1. Fantastic race start there from Max. And here they are making their way down the start-finish straight. DRS is now enabled as the drivers cross the start-finish line for lap number 2. Esteban Ocon into the pits. Looks like he's got some damage on his car, and he drops down to the back of the pack. Tsunoda has left the pit lane. He's 2 seconds off the rear of Behrman, and he's got a lot of work to do. We've got most drivers now out on medium tyres. In fact, everyone in the top 11 is on the mediums, and then we've got a couple other drivers on the hards. On the hards. All right, 2.6 second stop there for Ocon, and now Russell is going to start applying the pressure to Piastri. Piastri's got to look forward and also look behind to see what happens there. Otherwise, it's going to be, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Also, Lando Norris, if Russell and Piastri start battling, then Lando Norris will immediately be at the scene, and then we'll have a 3-way battle for second place, which I'm sure Max will be very pleased about. If the drivers start battling for second, Verstappen will drive off into the sunset, and we will not see him until lap number 63. Okay. Here we go then. DRS has been enabled. Piastri hasn't got it. George Russell has, though. They come out of the final corner, come out of Rivazza onto the main straight. Verstappen leads the way, fastest lap of the race, so 121.1. And then Russell now using DRS. Let's see how much he gains. He was within 1 second at the start of the straight. Now going towards turn number 2, he gains a huge 4/10 of a second going towards the braking zone. So the DRS will gain you 4/10 of a second. So, we've got another driver trying to go around the outside. Here comes Lewis Hamilton trying to overtake Kimi Antonelli, the home hero. Antonelli late on the brakes. No thank you, says Kimi Antonelli, and holds on to that 12th position. Nicely done there from Antonelli. They're both on the hard tyres, and they're both going to start struggling within the dirty air. The tyres are going to slide around a lot. Charles Leclerc goes purple in the first sector, now trying to get ahead of Pierre Gasly. We know that the Ferrari is faster, especially in the hands of Charles Leclerc, and he's going to do his absolute best to try and get an overtake done into Piratella. Oh my god, what a move from Charles Leclerc. Gasly goes off into the gravel, and he misjudged that braking zone, didn't he, Pierre Gasly? And he off into the gravel he goes. He loses a whole bunch of places, down into 14th for him. I don't think there was contact between Leclerc and Gasly, but Leclerc up into 9th, and Gasly losing a whole lot of places after driving all over the gravel on the exit of Piratella. Okay, let me just ban all of these bots. I do apologise, folks, for everyone in the chat. Alright, and let me put the slow mode on as well. Alright, we've got 26,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. Let me just turn slow mode on. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, so back to the coverage. We have got Piastri 1.5 seconds back from Max Verstappen, and Russell is 1.5 seconds, or 1.3 seconds off the back of Piastri. Norris, however, is within DRS range of George Russell, and he's closing up. We do know the McLaren is quicker, and Lando Norris is not a slow driver by any stretch of the imagination, so now it is his opportunity to close up to the back of George Russell and to make a move. We'll see what Russell will do, but Russell can defend this one as long as he wants, because there's no real chance of him overtaking Piastri, I think, because he's already losing time to Piastri. In fact, in the first sector alone, he's 0.2 slower. And I think if the top 2 stay the way it currently is and there's nothing crazy going on, Russell's best position of today's race is probably going to be 3rd place. So he might as well fight this out one with Lando Norris and just defend for his life. And that's just going to bring Fernando Alonso into the mix. If Russell starts defending against Norris, Fernando Alonso starts approaching the scene, and that's all good news for us fans, because we're going to get a load of overtaking action then. Ocon changed tyres. Ocon came into the pits. He had damage on the start of the race. I think that's what happened. Unless he's going for a strategy where he comes into the pits on lap number 1 and tries to go to the end, which I think would be a ridiculous strategy. Yeah. Okay. So what else have we got going on the race then? Here comes Alonso. He's gaining a lot of time on Norris as well, actually. Norris doesn't get the best exit out of the final corner, and Alonso is gaining on the back of him. And a purple first sector for Alonso as well. As you can see, Alonso is really picking up the pace. The Aston wasn't just a qualifying upgrade. It was a race upgrade as well. A great upgrade to the Aston Martin car, and they've been making up a lot of places. Yeah, Verstappen was so late on the brakes. By the looks of it, he was just ahead of Russell going into turn number 1. And he was just so late on the brakes that he swooped around the outside of Piastri as well. I mean, it was incredible. All right, Antonelli goes purple, actually, takes that away from Fernando Alonso, and he's doing his best to hold off Lewis Hamilton here. Of course, the driver that he replaced at Mercedes, Antonelli, doing a good job. All right. They're coming over the radio to Max, saying Piastri starting to push in the first sector a little. And yeah, Verstappen will keep that under control. But Piastri, fastest lap of the race, he goes quicker than Verstappen. BJ Wise, thanks for the $5 donation. Watching from Young New South Wales, Australia. Have TV on in the background. Well, glad that you're enjoying the coverage and you're listening to my commentary instead of the TV's commentary. Okay. We see the positions gained or lost. Yeah, let me just adjust that up onto the screen. Give me a sec, folks. There we go. We can also see the positions gained and lost. For the drivers, as you can see, not too much crazy position gains or loss. You can just see Gasly, though. Gasly's lost the most positions, down 4 places after having his little excursion off into the gravel trap. But we're getting a nice DRS train forming here, actually. From Russell all the way back to Lewis Hamilton, from 3rd place all the way down to 12th. We've got a big old DRS train. And then Gasly, of course, he's closing up on the back of Bortolesso, but Bortolesso cannot keep up with Lewis Hamilton. All right, well, chat, what is Ferrari doing? I mean, it was a good start for the race for Leclerc. He's up 2 places. And, yeah, apart from that, Ferrari's just having a lack of pace and a skill issue. Okay, fastest lap of the race here from Max Verstappen. He goes ever so slightly quicker than Piastri's fastest lap, and about a 1/10 of a second is between the 2 drivers. And Ocon into the... Yeah, Ocon... never mind. He's just came into the pits really early. Why is he so far back? He got damage and then had to pit on the first lap of the race. Oh no, he didn't have damage. He just came into the pits right at the start. Maybe he got a puncture. Leclerc comes over the radio saying tyres are better than expected, so maybe we'll see a 1-stop. The current pit stop window is 19th place. Sorry, not 19th place. Lap number 19 if you want to do a 1-stop. 19 or onwards for a 1-stop. And if you pit before lap number 19, you're going to be doing a 2-stop, most likely, according to Pirelli at least. So let's wait and see what happens. Good race so far. Well, I haven't had all that many overtakes, but a good race start at least. And Leclerc did pull off a nice one on Pierre Gasly. Yeah. Thanks for the donation. Very much is appreciated, by the way. All right, we've got 29,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And I'll be commentating the Monaco Grand Prix next weekend as well, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. Hopefully, we can hit 161k subs today. That's the target for the channel, so we can hit 200k by the end of the season. Here comes Lando Norris now. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's within 0.6 of a second here, and he should gain 0.4 as he barrels his way down the straight behind George Russell. He looks to the inside line, he's getting extremely close, but a little bit too far back on this occasion to send one to the inside is Lando Norris. So Russell now is becoming closer and closer under pressure. Of course, he has the benefit that Piastri's 2.5 seconds up the road, which means that he's not going to be suffering from dirty air and his tyres shouldn't be overheating too much. Norris will be suffering from the dirty air, but Norris is in the faster car. So I would say it's a level playing field. Norris has got some dirty air, but he's also got a faster car. Equal fight between the 2 drivers. Let's see what will happen. Okay. Do you think Lando could win the race? I mean, given that he's still stuck behind Russell, it's going to be a tough ask. But let's see. If he can overtake Russell quickly, then that will definitely help him out. And if he can do that, then maybe he'll be able to pull off an overtake on Piastri and Verstappen as well. But an uphill battle, I can tell you that for certain. Antonelli on the map. Antonelli is fine in 11th position. He's all the way there behind Isaac Hadjar, and he's still in that DRS. He's that's helping him out really, because Hamilton otherwise probably would have slipstreamed past him, but Antonelli right on the back of Hadjar, applying as much pressure as he possibly can, and they come out of Rivazza, and let's see what they can do. All right. Into turn number 1 they go. Lando Norris looks to the inside again. This is closer than he was on the previous lap. Can he send one to the inside? Ooh, it's Russell goes defensive. He knows that if he parks on the inside line, Norris is not going to be able to get past, especially through the Villeneuve chicane. It gets very, very tricky. And Russell again on the inside line shows Lando Norris the outside line. Said Norris is like, there's no way I'm getting past here. And then he has to settle back behind into Toza. So Russell doing some good defensive work, and now he's holding up Lando Norris. And if Russell parks it on the inside line, I really don't know what Lando Norris can do. Thank you for the... someone just joined the channel member. Don Jones, thank you for the donation. And BJ Wise, thank you for joining the channel membership. Very much is appreciated. All right, here comes Lando Norris on round number 2 now. So he tried the first time Russell had to go defensive was lap number 9. Let's see now, how many laps does it take for Lando Norris to get past, or if he gets past for that matter. George Russell, the English Minister of Defence, all he's got to do is defend against Lando Norris for 63 laps or 55 more laps, and he'll be able to take a podium at home. All right. Russell comes over. I'm not sure how I'm going to make it to the target lap pushing like this. So Russell is saying, if I push as hard as I'm pushing right now, I'm not going to be able to make my pit stop strategy work. Essentially, that's what he's saying, which may be a one-stop strategy for George Russell, and we will just have to see. Norris is getting closer and closer. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRS. He once again pulls to the outside line, and George Russell's on the inside, and Lando Norris has nothing that he can do. Now as they exit Tamburello, Russell's all the way to the inside. Norris goes over the grass, and he still can't get past. Oh, Norris are going over the grass, getting extremely racy, but Norris, you cannot drive over the grass and get an overtake done, especially when Russell is defending the inside line. And guess who's just showed up at the race scene? Fernando Alonso has closed right up to Lando Norris. George Russell, you're doing great defensive work. Now Alonso is going to try and attack Norris, and Norris will be split. He'll have to focus ahead and also focus behind him. Here comes Fernando Alonso. If he can get up into 4th position, that would be fantastic. All right, what does Russell say over the radio? He just drove onto the grass, and Russell. Exactly, that is exactly what he did. I don't know why he drove onto the grass. I know he wants the inside line, but if you park it on the inside, driving over the grass is not going to help. So, all right, up in the lead of the race, so 2 seconds is the gap between Verstappen and Piastri, and Russell is now 6 seconds back from Piastri. Here they are, coming out of the final corner. We've got DRS for Russell, DRS for Norris, DRS for Alonso, and also Sainz behind them. We've got one of the Ferrari into the pits, Leclerc's into the pits after 9 laps. Looks like he's doing a 2-stop strategy. Same thing can be said for Pierre Gasly. They go towards turn number 1. Russell on the inside line, Norris tries to go around the outside. Russell is late enough on the brakes, and once again he holds off Lando Norris. He parks it on the inside line, again going towards the Villeneuve chicane. There's nothing that Lando Norris can do. He tries to hold it around the outside. He does. What a move from Lando Norris. Round the outside at the Villeneuve chicane. Russell tries to go round the outside through Toza. Look, he's late on the brakes, but he just can't get that one done. Lando Norris, within 2 laps of trying to overtake George Russell, gets that one done. He hasn't bottled it this time. And round the outside of the Villeneuve chicane is incredible from Lando Norris. And now here comes Fernando Alonso on the back of George Russell. A stricken George Russell, who was expecting to defend against Norris for a long, long time, has been overtaken, and Fernando Alonso is in his mirrors. Okay. We got Norris up in third position now, and let's see if Russell is able to re-overtake him. The gap is 1.1 seconds as they go through Ravazza. Russell's tyres have really worn out, and his tyres aren't going to work well in the dirty air either. And he comes out of the Russell into the pits. Russell goes into the pit lane. It looks like he's doing a two-stop, so they've changed their strategy up. Russell and Sainz into the pits. It looks like we're getting a two-stop here, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of drivers coming in early. I said lap number 19 is the pit stop window. If you pit before then, it's going to be a two-stop pit. After lap number 19, it's going to be a one-stop. Maybe Verstappen and Piastri can pull off a one-stop because they'll have a lot of clean air, but the other drivers that have been stuck in traffic, not so much. And Charles Leclerc, purple in the middle sector, purple in the final sector. Look at the amount of clean air that he has got. Can he jump George Russell? Yes. This is going to be tight. Leclerc gets out ahead of George Russell. What a stop there from Charles Leclerc. What an outlap as well. And he's jumped George Russell. Russell, who is in a net fourth position. Leclerc, who is down in ninth. Great undercut by Ferrari. And finally, they've made a great strategic decision. Brilliant job there from Charles, and a great outlap as well. You've got to give him credit. Purple in the middle sector and in the final sector. He's also purple in the first sector. Leclerc is quickest in all sectors here in Imola, and he's just jumped George Russell up into a net fourth position if once Alonso and Albon and everyone comes into the pit. So brilliant job there by Ferrari. Forza Ferrari indeed. 200 IQ undercut. All right, Alonso comes into the pits as well. The medium tyres are really wearing out. They are wearing out very, very quickly indeed. Let's wait and see what happens now. We'll see, if the two-stop is what everyone is doing, maybe Verstappen and Piastri are going to try and do a one-stop. They've got so much clean air ahead of them. It would be silly not to try at least. Two-stop is the correct strategy, I do think so, because look at the track temperature, it's still 43 degrees. If it was 33 degrees, it would be a totally different story, but 43 degrees, two-stop is a lot more likely. Fastest lap of the race there for Charles Leclerc, 20.5. He goes a full second quicker than Verstappen's previous lap, which is, just goes to show you how much clean air can help you out, how much a fresh set of tyres can also help you out. Okay, Alonso's into the pits, and Alonso also loses the position to Leclerc, and now Norris is susceptible to the undercut. Look at the previous lap time that Lando Norris did, a 1:22.0. If Russell and Alonso, who just came into the pits now, if they can set really quick lap times, they might be able to undercut the McLarens. Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye out for this. Piastri comes into the pits. He's going to get priority. He's the driver ahead. He's going to try and undercut Max Verstappen. So Verstappen's now going to come into the pits most likely on the following lap or the next couple of laps. But Norris isn't getting priority because he wasn't the driver in the lead of this race. And Leclerc might be able to even jump Lando Norris. On that previous lap, Leclerc's 7/10 quicker. So who knows? Leclerc could get third position here. That would be very exciting indeed. And the Ferrari fans, I'm sure, will be very pleased with this one. Okay, here comes Piastri. He comes out of the pits. He comes out a good chunk ahead of Charles Leclerc. No need to worry for that second position. However, for that third position, which Lando Norris is in, the net third place, what is going to happen there? Is Verstappen being told over the radio to come into the pits? We'll wait and see. A slow pit stop for Piastri as well. Okay, maybe, that's definitely not going to help him out with the undercut attempt on Verstappen. I guess Verstappen has a little bit more leeway to try and stay ahead then. Okay, Lando Norris's previous lap of 1:21.2, Leclerc's previous lap of 1:21.1. So Leclerc wasn't able to keep up that sustained pace. He did have a really good outlap, a really good fastest lap of the race, but his pace is now only 1/10 of a second quicker than Lando Norris's, and Norris is on mediums, Leclerc's on hards. So we'll see if Norris comes into the pits now. Alex Albon though. Hanging it out there on the one-stop strategy so far. Stroll comes into the pits, and we may have a split strategy here because we've got, half of the drivers have come into the pits so far, or not, maybe just under half, but still a couple more drivers yet to come into the pits. Stroll into the pits as well, and Verstappen and Norris leading the way at the front. Norris is 10 seconds back from Max Verstappen, a lot of ground to make up. How is Tsunoda ahead of Leclerc? Tsunoda still hasn't come into the pits, that's why. It's as simple as that, really. not come into the pits. That's why he's so far ahead. All right. Also, folks, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. I'm also sponsored by Surfshark VPN, so I just do have to mention this. If you guys are interested in watching Formula One with actually all of the footage and everything, it's $2 a month. All you've got to do is get Surfshark VPN from the link in the description. Then you join an Austrian VPN server, search ORF into Google, and that'll be sufficient for you guys to watch Formula One. It is German commentary, so if you are German, if you understand German, then it's fantastic for you. If not, then you can mute that commentary and listen to mine instead. We've got 100 people on the channel doing it right now, so it does work. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. But back to the race coverage, we have got Lando Norris. Is he coming into the pits? We got a $5 donation. Thanks for that. £5 donation. Williams versus Aston. Who has the most surprisingly good weekend? Even Shaw looks surprisingly good. Exactly. Yeah, I have no idea. But I would say Aston's probably a little bit more surprising, just because their upgrade package came out of nowhere. Typically, their upgrade packages mid-season aren't all that great, but somehow this upgrade package was incredible. They leapfrogged about 4 teams in terms of lap time pace, and yeah, I would say Aston Martin have had the most surprising weekend so far. All right, Oscar Piastri, a 20.9. Verstappen is doing a 21.3, so Piastri is gaining 0.3 of a second, at least on that previous lap. Verstappen's going to have to be careful now. Sooner or later, he's going to have to come into the pits, or he's going to have to do a one-stop strategy. We'll wait and see what they decide to do, but we're approaching now the pit stop window. So if you pit after lap number 19, it's most likely that you will be doing a one-stop race. So let's see how that works out. Track temperature is falling a little bit, which should help with the tyre wear, but it's not a huge difference. It was 45 at the start of the race. Now it's 42.8. Watching Hamilton / Leclerc, who Ferrari will get the glory years back. I mean, maybe they'll get the glory years back, but I don't know. Hopefully in 2026, it will be Ferrari's year. But I posted a meme like a couple of days ago, or maybe last week or something, and it was just next year is our year, and it was just showing a screenshot of like 2050, and someone's saying that. So we'll see what happens with Ferrari. They've said next year is their year for the previous 18 years or something like that. Since 2007, they haven't won a championship. So who knows? All right, we've got Hamilton now. He's still within DRS range of Antonelli, and he's still holding on to the back of him. So good driving there from Antonelli. He's holding up to the pressure of Hamilton quite well, and now he's just got to stay ahead of him. The thing that he's had helping him out mainly is the DRS from Hadjar ahead of him. Hadjar has been giving Antonelli DRS, which makes it very difficult for Lewis Hamilton to close up on him. However, that DRS has just been broken. He's fell out of DRS range of Hadjar. It's 1.2 seconds now. Hadjar is going up the road. Antonelli isn't able to keep up, and now he becomes a much more susceptible threat to Lewis Hamilton's attacks. It's a plus 28 seconds in the pit lane. This is in fact the longest pit lane on the Formula One calendar in Imola here. So 28 seconds is lost for the drivers driving through the pit lane, and that makes a two-stop rather unappealing, but it still looks like most of the drivers are going for that strategy just because of the huge amounts of tyre wear that all of the drivers are experiencing. Okay, what happened to Oscar? He just came into the pits. Nothing too special. It looks like he'll be going for a two-stop race though, and Verstappen is still holding it out there, approaching now lap number 19, and it could be a one-stop race for Max. We'll just have to wait and see, because of course he's had clean air since lap number 1, no issues whatsoever in terms of dirty air, and that will help his tyres out a lot. Okay. Here we go, then we've got 37,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. Look forward to commentating to you guys next weekend out in Imola, in Monaco as well. We'll have, of course, a forced two-stop by the FIA. The FIA have said you have to pit 2 times. Oh, we've got someone going around the outside here. Piastri goes around the outside of Sonoda. Piastri just getting up into 10th position into turn number 1 and says thank you very much. So a fairly straightforward overtake there for Oscar Piastri. But yeah, next weekend in Monaco, we will have a forced two-stop. But they have, of course, the FIA have said you have to do a two-stop race in Monaco, and that's really going to mix up the strategy. So let's wait and see how that works out. Okay. Verstappen, though, his laps are still very, very consistent. 20.8 for Max Verstappen. The only other driver to get anywhere near that is Charles Leclerc, who's on a fresh set of hards. He's on 7-lap-old hards, and he's doing a 20.7. Verstappen still managing to hold a 20.8. Incredible race pace from Max Verstappen. And, Red Bull did bring upgrades this weekend, and clearly the upgrades are working. He doesn't just need the pace in qualifying. He does need it in the race, and the upgrades are helping out with that. They're making the car a little bit more stable, a little bit more downforce, and yeah, the Red Bull upgrades thankfully are working. Since Adrian Newey left the Red Bull has been slowly going downhill. This is a little peak upwards now, and things are going well. Piastri now making the overtake on Oliver Behrman, says thank you very much, and up into ninth place for Piastri. He's making light work of all of the traffic. Colapinto up next on his overtaking list. He should get the overtake done by the next lap. Okay. Leclerc's about to overtake Tsunoda. Yeah, Leclerc should be getting close as well. But of course, the issue is Tsunoda's now got DRS on Behrman, which makes it harder to slipstream past him. So we shall wait and see. But Piastri is just going cutting up the traffic left, right, and centre, making all of these overtakes stick. And we'll see what he can do against Colapinto. Colapinto, of course, no DRS for him. Hülkenberg is 3 seconds up the road, and Piastri now trying to get some overtakes done. And the current gap between Piastri and Verstappen, as you can see there on the screen, is 33.2 seconds. So Verstappen's going to come into the pits, and he's going to lose 28.2 seconds via his pit stop, and will still come out 5 seconds clear of Oscar Piastri, because Piastri is stuck in traffic. His previous lap, a 1:22.1. He may be on the faster tyres, he may even have a faster car, but because he's got so much traffic, his lap times are not reflecting the pace that he truly has. All right, going now in towards turn number 1, Piastri swoops around the outside of Colapinto. Thank you very much. And the overtake was nice and straightforward there for Oscar Piastri. Now he's got a little bit of clean air before he catches up to Hülkenberg. We'll see what his sector times look like and if he can match Max Verstappen's sectors. But it doesn't matter if he can match them or not. Verstappen is still so consistent on those medium tyres. He's, in fact, just dipped up into the 121s now. Looks like he made a mistake on the previous lap. And Norris, in fact, quicker. Okay. The bottom half will do the 2 pit stops. We'll do 2 stops. When will the first half? Well, actually, we're already past the pit stop window. So if we look at the pit stop window now, we're on lap number 21, and most likely now, according to Pirelli, they think that if you come into the pits now, you will be able to drive on the hards right till the end of the race. Now, it's beneficial, of course, to extend out your first stint as much as possible. So we'll see how well Verstappen and Norris can do that. But it looks like they're going for the one stop, and Piastri is going to have his work cut out. He's going to have to overtake Hülkenberg, Hamilton, Antonelli, and everyone, and then also come back into the pits as well. So we'll wait and see. But he will, of course, have the fresher tyres, and then overtaking his teammate Lando Norris will get nice and spicy. Why did Ocon box so early? I think Ocon got a puncture on the opening lap. I'm not 100% sure, but he didn't change his front wing when he came into the pits and did change his tyres, so I suspect it's a puncture from Esteban Ocon. All right, Leclerc did just get ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Nicely done there. And we've got a team radio from Carlos Sainz saying Alex 21.8. And it's clearly a one-stop if Alex is doing a 21.8. So that's essentially what they're saying. Sainz has come into the pits and is saying that... So Sainz is saying that it's a one-stop, essentially, and they've messed up the strategy. We'll wait and see. Okie dokes. Let me just block the adverts here. Make sure YouTube isn't showing you guys any adverts. All right, what else have we got going on the race then? We've got Behrman on the back of Colapinto, Leclerc on the back of Behrman, and Piastri now. He's already closed the gap up to Hülkenberg. It was 3 seconds about, 1 lap ago, 2 laps ago, and he's closed that gap up. Hülkenberg should see an orange McLaren blazing past him now. They come down the main straight. Piastri opens that DRS flap. Let's wait and see what he can do. Here they go into turn number 1. Piastri uses the overtake button and says thank you very much into turn number 7. Very, very nicely done. All right. Let's see what else is going on. I hope Alex gets Williams that podium. Yeah, I mean, it'd be fantastic if Williams can get a podium. It looks like a one-stop strategy, according to Carlos Sainz. You know, the one-stop strategy is the way to go forward. So it may actually work it may work in Alex Albon's favor, and he could actually potentially end up on the podium. It's going to still be very difficult with Piastri overtaking everyone like so quickly. Let's pay attention now. So we're on lap number 22, and Piastri has got a 5-second gap to Lewis Hamilton. Let's see how long it takes or lap number 23 now, let's say, and let's see how long it takes for Piastri to close that gap up. Oh, he's already closed up half a second. I mean, that's incredible. Half a second in what, like 3 corners, 1 sector? Russell comes over the radio saying it's like the rear track rod is broken or something because the rears are moving even on a straight line. I'm struggling. So clearly some sort of issue with George Russell's car. He's saying the rear track rod is broken, which honestly, I'm not 100% sure what that means, but clearly having some sort it's moving when it's on a straight line. I don't know, but issues with George Russell's car by the looks of it, and he's not having the best tyre wear. But still, his lap times aren't too bad. A 121.6 is still quicker than the majority of the field. And he's now going to close up to Yuki Tsunoda, see if he can get that overtake done. Charles Leclerc to the inside at turn number 1, gets ahead of Oliver Behrman. Nicely done from Charles Leclerc. And yeah, we've got Piastri now closing up that gap. He's down to 4 seconds already. In 1 lap, he closes up 1 second. Incredible from Piastri. Hamilton is stuck behind Antonelli. You do have to take that into account, but Piastri is a man on a mission. He's on a 2-stop race. He knows that strategy might not be the best, but he's got to do his absolute. He's got to push all the way to the limit if he wants to try and get a second place. All right, and if we have a look at the constructors' standings right now, so let's have a look at the constructors' standings. Oh, sorry, not the constructors, the drivers' standings. You can see that Verstappen, if the race finishes like this, then we're going to see Albon gain 15 points, but of course that's not perfectly true because everyone's still yet to do their pit stops. Thing is, though, Verstappen is going to gain a lot of points on Piastri because right now the gap is 32 points in the constructors as far as I can remember. Piastri's on 131, Verstappen's on 99, and yeah, so the predicted points, Piastri's only gaining 6 points, Norris 18, Verstappen 25. Of course, this is probably a little bit inaccurate since everyone's still yet to do their pit stop. But yeah, a lot of work to do for Piastri. Otherwise, he will lose a lot of points to Max. Okay. Let me just put the pit stop windows up again. And yeah, we'll see the drivers soon enough come into the pits. They're still hanging it out there somehow. We're on lap number 24. Pirelli said you could only do 25 laps on a set of mediums. And well, we're on lap number 24, and the Verstappen, Norris, Albon, and Hadjar are still going strong. They're the only medium tyre runners that have still hung it out, and things are going well for them. How long is the pit stop in this track? It's 28 seconds, a huge loss of time in the pits for these drivers. And if Verstappen still comes into the pits now, he still comes out 5 seconds clear of Piastri. Piastri's doing incredible work, closed up to the back of Hamilton now. It's going to be a tough overtake on Hamilton because Hamilton does have DRS from Antonelli ahead of him, which means that Piastri will have a tough time having that top speed advantage because Hamilton will also have DRS open. We'll see what Piastri can do though. He's closing up so quickly though. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And yeah, Hadjar, Albon, Norris, and Verstappen seem to be on the right strategy, according to Carlos Sainz at least. I missed the start. How did Max overtake Piastri? Max was just super late on the brakes. It was incredible. Verstappen was just ahead of Russell going into turn number 1. And then he was somehow just so late on the brakes, he swooped around the outside of Piastri, and yeah, there was nothing that Piastri could do because by that point they were through turn number 2. Verstappen had the inside line. Piastri had to concede the position and job done. So Verstappen very late on the brakes into turn number 1, and that's how he did it. Okay. Do you think Audi will be instantly decent or good, or will they take a few years to reach the top? I think Audi will take a while, given that they're going to be starting with the Saubers, which currently are right at the back of the pack. Yeah, not looking great. I mean, Hülkenberg is in 8th position, but he's still yet to do his pit stop. So once he does that, he will drop back down to approximately where Bortoletto is. How long can the hard tyres be expected to last? They can last probably 40 laps or so, or maybe even 45 laps. So that's essentially how long the hard tires can last. However, if you are pushing on them very hard, then we may, like Piastri is, you will have to come into the pits earlier. So here comes Piastri now, out of the final corner. He's well within DRS range of Hamilton. In fact, gets a fantastic exit compared to Hamilton out of the final corner. And he's now got the DRS. He's got the slipstream to help him out as well. As they come down the main straight, Hamilton is unable to get close to Antonelli. Piastri is gaining. He's pressing the overtake button. Hamilton goes defensive. Piastri now trying to go round the outside. Can he get this one done? Braking at the 70-meter mark, swoops around the outside. And thank you very much, says Piastri, and Hamilton back down into 7th position, and Piastri is up into 6th. So many overtakes from Oscar Piastri. And honestly, if I've got to give a driver of the day, he may not be in the lead of this race, but I've got to say Oscar Piastri is doing fantastic work at a circuit where it's pretty difficult to overtake. Admittedly, he does have the fastest car on the grid, but still, he is doing a great job of overtaking everyone. All right, so now Piastri has got to overtake Kimi Antonelli next up on his overtaking list, and then he's got to catch up to Hadjar and Albon. All right, but let's just think about this, right? So the gap currently between Verstappen and Piastri is 33 seconds, and both Piastri and Verstappen have still got one pit stop left. It looks like Piastri's going to have to come into the pits again because he's just wearing through his tyres so quickly by doing all of these overtakes. So once both of these drivers come into the pits, Piastri's going to be 33 seconds behind Verstappen, which is absolutely obscene. I mean, he's going to have fresh tyres for... Well, he's not going to even have fresh tyres, is he? He's going to... The two-stop probably wasn't the way to go if you could hang it out on a one-stop. You'll lose 28 seconds in the pits, which is ludicrous. And... yeah, not ideal there for Piastri. We'll see how it works out, though. The gap between Max and Albon is crazy. And of course, we can always have a safety car to mix things up. That could always spice things up. We'll see if there's any overtaking happening further down the field. Thank you for the donation, Surprise Bacon. Very much is appreciated. We got Sainz in 13th position. He's got to close up to the back of Tsunoda and get an overtake done. Charles Leclerc, fastest lap of the race here. He's on 60... Oh, not fastest lap of the race. Fastest first sector of the race. And now he's going to try and close up to his teammate, Lewis Hamilton. All right. Aston Martin and Sainz, T-brakes. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they've picked a two-stop strategy, essentially, and it looks quite clearly that the two-stop wasn't the way to go. Because we're having a look at the lap times here. The drivers who are out on the medium still, let's say Alex Albon, as comparison, is doing a 122.4. That's what Alex is doing. And Sainz is also doing a 122.4. And Sainz is on hard tyres, and they're fresh hard tyres, relatively fresh. Albon is on 27-lap-old medium tyres. So they're doing identical lap times. They gain nothing by doing an extra pit stop, essentially. And here comes Piastri. He gets ahead of Hadjar as well. And he's up into 4th place. He's got his work cut out for him, though. He's going to have to close up to Norris and Albon and Verstappen. And the gap is 32 seconds. If Piastri can end up in 2nd place today, he is definitely deserved driver of the day. Pitgate from McLaren to help Norris. Yeah, not ideal really for Piastri. They've of course done split strategy, and it looks like Norris was on the correct one. Piastri is not. But I'm sure the drivers also had a say in this. Norris will have said, I want to do a one-stop. Piastri will have said, I want to do a two-stop. So it's not particularly, McLaren's fault or anything. Would Piastri just drive on these tyres? He could. It would be difficult. It would be very, very difficult, I've got to say, to go on the end of this race, especially with all of the overtaking that he's done. He's done 14 laps of straight overtaking on these hard tyres. Norris finally dives into the pits, and let's see where he comes out now. He will, I think, come out behind Piastri, but how far behind, that is the question. Because Piastri's still got a pit stop left to do if he decides to do that, because his tyre's unlikely to last to the end of this race. Here comes Norris then, coming out of the pit lane. A pretty quick pit stop, 2.1 seconds from the McLaren crew. Piastri comes out ahead and Norris is now stuck. Oh, yellow flag, yellow flag. Oh, this could really mix things up here. And this is going to help out anyone that's done a two-stop. Ocon and the exit of Tosa has stopped. What is going on here? Potential for a safety car. Let's wait and see. Let me get a shot of what's happening to Esteban Ocon. But the yellow flag is out. Ocon is stopped on the side of the circuit. He's stopped on the grass, and surely might not be a safety car, but definitely a virtual safety car. There's no way that they let a truck go out onto the track. Stop the car, we have an issue. Another issue for Ferrari, for a Ferrari-powered engine. VSC is deployed. Verstappen is making his way towards the pit lane. Surely he comes into the pits now. It's a free pit stop. Norris unfortunately gets caught out because he's just pitted just before the VSC. Piastri, and let's see what Verstappen does. It looks like he's coming into the pits, isn't he? It would be stupid not to. There we go. Into the pits comes Max Verstappen. We could get a Williams podiums here, ladies and gentlemen. Albon's going to come into the pits, and he's going to come out behind Piastri. But Hadjar and Antonelli and Hamilton, they're all going to come into the pits now. Or maybe actually not. I don't know. Because look at these hard tyre runners. They've done 28 laps. They've done 30 laps. We're at the halfway point of this race. Maybe they could do the final 33 laps on a set of mediums. It would be very tough, though. So let's wait and see, but a potential for a Williams podium here because Alex Albon was in the right place at the right time. So Albon now dives into the pit lane and, as expected, will put on a set of hard tyres. Max did not have a penalty. No penalty for Max Verstappen. He comes out of the pit lane very much in the lead of this race. Piastri, is he going to come in for his second stop as well, or does he continue on? Piastri continues on. Okay, Lando Norris continues on. Hadjar and Hamilton and Antonelli into the pits. All right, Leclerc into the pits as well. And Albon is going to come out in a net 4th position here. The great timing for Alex Albon. And we'll see, after the virtual safety car, where the positions shape up. The VSC is deployed. It's going to take a while to clear up that car because it's not near an escape road. And they're going to have to get a truck or a tractor or something out there. Hadjar, 2.6 second stop for him. 2.8 second stop for Leclerc. Hamilton also a pretty quick pit stop as well. Okay. So Hadjar is in 5th position, Antonelli in 6th, Hamilton in 7th. We've got Alonso in 8th, Stroll in 9th, Leclerc in 10th. So the Astons stay out, I think. Yeah, Astons stay out. They don't come in for their pit stops. It looks like they're going to try and go to the end by the looks of it. Yeah, they might as well hold on to track position. Piastri, though, very, very nice and lucky for him. He stays up in 2nd position. If Norris had pitted 1 lap later, he would have had to overtake his teammate on older tyres, but now he's managed to stay ahead, and we'll see what he can do in terms of defending against his teammate. Aston needs to do 50 laps on the hards then. Yeah, no, it's going to be a very, very big task for the Astons. Unless they come in later, but it would make no sense to come in later. Like, if you have the VSC out, you might as well come into the pits. So everyone has done at least 1 pit stop now. And the current standings are, so anyone listening to this like a radio broadcast, let's say, I'm just going to read out the positions. So we've got Verstappen in 1st, Piastri in 2nd, Norris 3rd, Albon 4th, Hadjar 5th, Antonelli is in 6th. Oh, Piastri dives into the pits. Piastri into the pits as well. So it looks like he's also going to change his tyres. He's going to come out. Where is he going to come out, actually? Behind Albon or ahead of him? It looks like it's going to be behind, surely. Into the pits he goes, he gets his tyres changed onto another fresh set of hards to go to the end of this race on, and Albon overtakes him. Does he come out ahead of Hadjar? That is the key thing. Albon, though, up into 3rd place. It's a net 3rd position for Albon. And Piastri, does he come out ahead of Hadjar? Yes, he does. Okay, so the current positions are, if no one else comes into the pits, Verstappen in 1st, Norris in 2nd, Albon in 3rd, Piastri 4th, Hadjar 5th, DRS, VSC ending, and track is clear. So we are back to racing here, ladies and gentlemen. Piastri just times his pit stop very, very nicely there. And Hadjar is in 5th, Antonelli 6th, Hamilton in 7th, Alonso 8th, Stroll 9th, Leclerc 10th, Hülkenberg 11th, Russell in 12th. Very unfortunate for him. He was going so well, and down into 12th position. Big drop in places for him. He's just been caught out really by the wrong strategy. Behrman in 13th, Tsunoda in 14th, Sainz in 15th, Colapinto in 16th, Gasly in 17th, Lawson in 18th, and Bortoletto in 19th, with Ocon retired out of the race with another issue for a Ferrari-powered car. After we had loads of Ferrari-powered cars DNFing in Miami as well, so not ideal. DRS has also been enabled, and Piastri now has got a 7-second gap to close up to Albon, and then a 16-second gap to, a 12-second gap to his teammate. So, yeah, a lot of work to do for Piastri if he wants to get that 2nd place. But look at that gap between Verstappen and Norris. 20 seconds. Huge. Absolutely huge. There's 32 laps left of this race. So Norris is approximately going to have to go a second a lap quicker to catch up to the back of, or 0.8 of a lap quicker to catch up to Max Verstappen. Right, here comes Lewis Hamilton. He's got a great final sector, and he's on the back here of Antonelli, looking to get the overtake done into turn number 6. Can he get this one done? No. Oh, sorry. It wasn't Antonelli. It was Anthony trying to overtake Hadjar. Apologies for that. I don't know how I mixed that up. But yeah, Hadjar now under pressure from Antonelli, the home hero. A lot of fans cheering him on here, and he'll be looking to get this overtake done on Hadjar as they go towards Tozer. He's a little bit too far back. He's going to have to wait till the next straight. Behrman into the pits again. I don't know what's happening for Behrman because he just pitted under the VSC and now he's had issues. Box for hards. Okay. I guess he had to do 2 laps on the mediums before he could go on to the hards again. So, but Haas are going to come out in dead last. So what are they doing? I have no idea. It makes no sense. But a fastest lap of the race there from Max Verstappen, a 1:20.3, and we'll see what Lando Norris can do. A 1:20.8, half a second slower on that lap is Lando Norris. Oh no, actually, never mind. Norris comes across the line, fastest lap of the race for him, and he takes that away from Max. He gains half a second, so reverse of what I just said. And Albon across the line, a 1:20.3 for him, and Piastri across the line, it is a 1:19.9. So now he is going 0.4 of a second quicker on the previous lap compared to Alex Albon. Williams is in a net third position. The last time they scored a podium was 2016 Monza. It was a huge time ago, a long time ago. And let's wait and see if they can score another podium this weekend. Why did Albon DNF? Albon had some sort of issue with his car, power unit issue, and that's why they ended up in. That's why he had to DNF and park up on the side of the road. George Russell is gaining on Lance Stroll, and oh no, sorry, not Lance Stroll. On Nico Hülkenberg, he gets that overtake done, going into Tamburello. Very nice. I'm just looking at the replay. Okay. So Verstappen with a 20-second lead. Lando Norris gaining quite a bit of time, actually. He's got that down to 19 seconds. So let's see if Lando Norris can close up. It's going to be a huge task. With 30 laps after this race, surely Verstappen's not going to let Norris close up a 20-second gap. They're on the other side of the track, basically. Norris is just starting his flying lap. Verstappen's already into turn 5 and 6. Okay, Sainz, we've got a replay here. Sainz getting ahead of Tsunoda just round the outside, hitting too much of the curb, really, but he touched me. Contact between Tsunoda and Sainz, but Sainz still manages to keep that position. Okay. And a fastest lap of the race for Piastri. Piastri is now trying to catch up. That gap was 7.5 seconds. It's down to 6. And, they've got a McLaren chasing him down for a podium. It's not looking all that good for Williams' podium hopes. 30 laps of defending is what Albon's going to have to do if he wants to score a podium. Let's wait and see. Oh, last time Williams got a podium was 2017 Baku. Apologies. I did actually forget about that one. Before that, I think, was Monza in 2016. But, it was Stroll. No, it's Stroll in 2017 got a podium. Correction. Apologies for that one. Spa 21. Does Spa 21 count, though? Okay, on pure pace, the last time Williams got a podium was Baku 2017. Let's put it that way. Spa 21, I agree. But it's been a long time since Williams have been this competitive. All right, we've got 29 laps left of this race. Lewis Hamilton, fastest first sector, and he is 7/10 back from Isaac Hadjar. Let's see if he can get this overtake done. Hadjar has been put in the right position by his strategy, by just being there at the right place at the right time. But the question is now, will he be able to hold on? Hamilton, fastest lap of the race here, and he's closing up now. Let Lewis cook, indeed. He's going to press K1 to overtake, and things are going well for him. Leclerc was the Ferrari driver that was initially ahead, but the strategy hasn't worked out in his favour with the VSC timing and everything, and Hamilton's still got a pretty tough task ahead of him. He's going to have to do 35 laps on a set of medium tyres. Max predictions for the end of the race. I don't want to be a bit of a boring person, but I'm going to go with Max's winning this race because he's got a 18-second lead. But Hamilton, though, he is yeah, he's getting pretty close here to Hadjar, actually, as they just go through the middle sector. And the fact that he's so close to the middle sector does bode well, and he should be able to get this overtake done. Piastri, though, down to 4.2 seconds, purple in the middle sector, and Piastri is pushing like nobody's ever seen before. And Norris, really, the question for Norris isn't, oh, let me try and catch up catch up to Verstappen. The question is to try and get away from Piastri. That is the main focus. So let's have a look at this gap right now. Between Norris and Piastri, the gap is currently 12 seconds. We've got 28 laps left to go, so Piastri approximately has to go half a second quicker for the next 28 laps to catch up to his teammate, which is going to be a very, very tall order. And he's also got to overtake Alex Albon in the process. So we'll see what Piastri can do. He got pole position. He's been setting quite a few fastest laps and fastest sectors, and he's definitely got the pace. But will Lando Norris be able to defend against this one? Hamilton gets the overtake done on Hadjar. Nice and straightforward, really. Hadjar does try to defend, but Hamilton just round the outside he goes, super late on the brakes, and that overtake was quite easy for him. Hülkenberg gets ahead of Stroll. Very nicely done. 11th position for him. Medium seems to be doing well. Yeah, they seem to be doing well. I mean, initially, everyone came over the radio complaining about tyre wear. They were all saying, oh, the tyres are wearing out so quickly. I can't believe this. It makes no sense. And then they were like, right, well, a two-stop strategy is the way to go forward. But then the medium tyres were able to hold on for quite a while. So it seems sort of like the tyres initially wore out really quickly up to a certain point, and then after that, they didn't really wear out, and everyone was able to sort of maintain lap time, which is interesting. Alright folks, also if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so, and if you haven't subscribed as well, be sure to do that. Very much is appreciated. Oh, I also forgot to update the like target. Normally for races, that is like 8,000 likes. So let's see if we can hit 8,000 likes. Folks, we've got 44,000 people watching the stream, so that would very much be appreciated. And if you can hit our subscriber target as well, that would be fantastic. Oh, and also I'm still running that giveaway, which I totally forgot to mention. But essentially, just to enter the giveaway for Surfshark VPN, all you've got to do is hit the subscribe button, and you've got to just got to type one message into chat. So just type one message into chat. You've got to subscribe for 1 minute, and yeah, and then you automatically get entered into the giveaway for Surfshark VPN, which the winners will get announced next week in Monaco. I feel like McLaren only pitted Piastri, so they didn't have to deal with their driver's pathetic team if they're helping Max. I don't know. I don't know why they pitted Piastri, probably because they didn't want to risk like a puncture towards the end of the race, because there is a very real risk of this. If he was going to do, say, 45 laps on a set of hard tyres, then it would have been very, very tough to get that overtake, sort of to stay out and potentially risk a puncture. So they were playing it safe, I think. They know that for a fact they can overtake Albon, but overtaking Piastri, catching up to Norris, I don't think they're too overly concerned about that. Piastri's got the gap down to 2 seconds now, and Verstappen is pushing, and he's keeping that gap maintained at, well, let's see what that gap is maintained at, 18 seconds, 18 and a half seconds. All right. Here comes Oscar Piastri then. Let's wait and see. Alex Albon versus Oscar Piastri. Drop. Who do you think is going to win in the chat? Will it be Oscar Piastri? Will it be Alex Albon? He's got to, we've seen before, you can just park it on the inside and you can defend if you have enough pace. Russell was really struggling with his tyres and ended up losing the position to Norris. Now, let's see what Alex Albon can do versus Oscar Piastri. Did Max pit? All of the drivers have pitted, as you can see. They're using multiple tyres up on the screen. So, yes, everyone has come into the pits. Fastest first sector from Charles Leclerc, and he's going to try and overtake Isaac Hadjar very soon. Okay. Here we go then. We've got a purple fastest lap of the race from Hamilton currently. He is lapping very well. P5 on the road as well, which is fantastic for Ferrari, given where they were yesterday. Getting knocked out of Q2. The strategy has played out in their favour, but they have also made some good strategy choices. And P5 and 7 is not half bad. Of course, they'll be hoping for a podium, but sometimes things just aren't meant to go their way. Can Albon hold Piastri? Well, let's see. Albon is using the track all the way up to the painted white line. He is going right up to track limits, and well, He's pushing that Williams as hard as he can. They're both on hard tires, which are both 8 or 9 laps old. They're on the same level of tire wear, but we do know there is a pretty big pace difference between the McLarens and the Williams. In fact, I think just during qualifying yesterday, it was 7/10 of a second in quali. So let's wait and see. Also, we've got 44,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. I'll be commentating for Monaco as well. It's going to be a very exciting race with that forced two-stop by the FIA. So if you guys are interested, then be sure to subscribe. And of course, type a message into chat, which will enter you into the giveaway as well. But yes, the Surfshark giveaway, if you guys do want to watch the coverage for like $2 a month or whatever, and you think that you're not going to win the giveaway because we've got 44,000 people watching the stream, then all you've got to do is click the link in the description, click the link in the chat, and get Surfshark VPN, join an Austrian VPN server, search ORF into Google, and enjoy the Formula One coverage. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. But now all eyes on Oscar Piastri and Alex Albon. They come out of the final corner. Piastri has got the DRS. He has got the slipstream. He is gaining towards turn number 1. Let's wait and see what he can do. He's got the overtake button ready and to deploy. Alex Albon doing the exact same. Round the outside goes Oscar Piastri. Can Albon defend this one? No, he can't. What an exit Oscar Piastri got. He was just so good out of the final corner. Albon genuinely couldn't even defend, not even a single lap of defending from Albon. Piastri just went round the outside, done. Boom, really. Purple in the first sector, and there's genuinely no battle. Absolutely nothing, because he got an amazing exit out of the final corner, and Albon was not, of course, Albon didn't, he used his overtake button, but that was it. Wow. Okay, so we've got now Charles Leclerc trying to overtake Isaac Hadjar. They make their way through Tozer and Piratella, and Hadjar is now being told to push a little bit harder on the front tyres, use the front tyres up, and try to stay ahead of Charles Leclerc. But now, the main thing to focus on, the gap between Norris and Piastri. Piastri lost a little bit of time to Norris when he was overtaking Albon. Currently, the gap is 13 seconds. We've got 23 laps left of racing, and Oscar Piastri is in the lead. Well, no, he's not in the lead. What am I saying? Apologies for all of the mistakes in the commentary today. I don't know what's going on. Oscar Piastri has got 13 seconds to close up in 23 laps, which, at the rate he's going with all of the fastest laps, maybe he can do, but Norris is not going to let that happen. Surely not. So let's wait and see. Also, let's just put up the constructor standings. Since nobody else is going to be coming into the pit stops anyway, I shall put up the constructor standings. There we go. All right, as you can see, Verstappen's going to gain 25 points, go up to 124, and I'll read through all of the... let me just turn this off, actually. Yeah, just looking at the top constructors, we can see Piastri's going to gain 15 points, and then we're going to have Norris gain 18 points, Verstappen gain 25 points, and that's just going to close everyone up. Verstappen's going to be on 124. He's going to be 22 points back from Piastri if positions remain the way they are. And then I'll have the scrolling thing on so we can look at the rest of the drivers as well. All right. Can Hamilton do a one-stop? Yeah, he definitely can. I mean, his hard tyres are his medium tyres are gonna wear out, and in fact, we're gonna have a Ferrari civil war. Let's go. Okay, get ready to read all of these team radio messages, because Leclerc's on the hards, and they're gonna not wear out as much. The mediums for Lewis Hamilton, they are gonna wear out a lot, and we've still got 22 laps of racing, which is gonna make it very tough for Lewis Hamilton to, continue on with his stint. So we're going to have Leclerc approaching the back of Hamilton, and they're going to start battling. So let's wait and see. Oh, we've just had a donation, which I've just missed. So Max P1, Oscar P2, Max P1, Lando P2, Oscar P3. Yeah, it's looking that way just by how huge the gaps are, unless we get a safety car, So let's see. I was literally about to say, hope Ferrari doesn't mess this one up. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what the Ferraris do, because they don't have the best track record of handling these things very well. So we've got Carlos Sainz trying to overtake Nico Hülkenberg here up into 10th position for Carlos Sainz. He gets ahead of Hülkenberg. Nicely done. And yeah, double points for Williams. Of course, Albon up in 4th position, which is really going to be nice for him. And fantastic, really. The lap counter is at the bottom left there, ladies and gentlemen. Lap number 43 of 63. We've got 21 laps left of racing. Do you think Max will retire early, or he'll race for a while if he stays with Red Bull? I think he'll just go over to whichever team is the fastest car in 2026, really. If Red Bull aren't the fastest car in 2026, which it looks like they might not be, he'll just get on the phone, whichever team wins the first race of the season, and then he will call them up and say, I'll drive for you for free. Just let me win the championship again. And I'm sure any team will be gladly take up that request, except that Verstappen won't do it for free. He'll ask for like 100 million because he can. All right. Alonso saying it's going to be torture. It's a wreck. I'm the unluckiest driver in the effing world. That's what Alonso says over the radio. And yeah, he's got 21 laps left to go on a set of hard tyres. These hard tyres were only meant to do 40 laps or so by according to Pirelli. And now he's going to have to do 50 laps, which the tyre wear is pretty high around here. Track temperature has dropped down to 38, but still the hard tyres not operating as well as they would have liked, and Alonso has got a long race ahead of him. They were doing so well. They had a fantastic qualifying, and now Alonso down in 13th and 14th. Not great, but the one thing that they can be happy about is that they still do have performance. They still do have the ability to stick the car up into both cars into Q3, and hopefully sooner or later they will score some solid points. But Alonso's point tally is still at 0 for this season so far. We are 6-7 races into the season now, and Alonso is still yet to score 0 points. It's been a long time in Alonso's career, if ever, really, that he's reached the 7th race of the season and has still not scored a point. Maybe in the McLaren Honda days, but yeah, things not going well for Alonso. Alright, Piastri fastest lap of the race, and the gap between himself and his teammate, 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Norris is doing a good job managing this gap, and it's going to be a tough one for Piastri to close up. Okay. Colapinto did get team orders to swap around, and I think fair enough. Gasly's on a set of hard tyres which are quicker. They're more fresh. They're only 14 laps old rather than Colapinto's 21 lap old tyres, which means that I think it's a fair decision to say just to swap the two drivers around. Yeah, no, Max just quits Formula One and moves on to other championships. Maybe we'll see Franz Hermann reappear in GT3. Yeah. All right. It's 2024 all over again. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Verstappen is still third place in the constructors' standings. Not in first position, so he's now in the back foot. In 2024 it was the McLaren drivers, it was Lando Norris who was in second place having to close up. Verstappen though is now the driver that has to close up. The upgrades, however, for Red Bull have worked well. We can say that for a fact. They are closer than they previously were, and their race pace is a lot better than it previously was. Otherwise the McLarens would have closed up like this. You do remember last weekend in Miami, the McLarens won the race by 37 seconds, and now they aren't able to close that gap up to Verstappen. Previously, you would have expected the McLarens maybe to get within 5 seconds by the end of the race, but Verstappen is holding that 18.5 seconds exactly still. Like, it's not changing, it's not going up, it's not going down. I'm sure Verstappen's going to approach some traffic soon enough. In fact, he is already approaching traffic, and still the gap is 18.5 seconds. So essentially, yeah, the upgrades have worked well for Red Bull, and their race pace is back. Their qualifying pace still may not be there. You still need a sensational lap from Max Verstappen if you want to stick it on pole, but their race pace is better, and it's not the huge 37-second domination that we saw last weekend out in Miami. Oh, Antonelli drops down 2-3 places. What's happened here to Antonelli? Antonelli stopped on the side of the road. Antonelli's got an issue. He's parked up exactly where we've another VSC, folks. Another VSC by the looks of it. He's parked up exactly where Ocon parked up. And the home hero, Kimi Antonelli, has got an issue. And he's parked up on the side of the road. They're getting ready for a pit stop here for Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, if he comes into the pits now, he'll probably come out behind Hadjar, but VSC's down. Oh, safety car's out. Okay, well, this has just made things a whole lot more exciting. Safety car's out, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have a battle between Max Verstappen versus Lando Norris versus Oscar Piastri. Yes! All right, Thank you, race control stewards. Normally, I'm just complaining to you guys about how bad your decisions are, but safety car being coming out onto the circuit. Thank you so much. Um, I don't really think we needed a safety car. To be brutally honest here, Antonelli parked up in the exact same place where Ocon parked up, and oh no, he parked up on the left hand side. I think Ocon parked up on the right, maybe, but either way, they parked up off the circuit. There was a VSC for Ocon. There's a safety car right now, which is the most inconsistent thing. I mean, it's the exact same scenario. Anyway, Verstappen comes into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. Did he just put on softs? Did Verstappen just put on soft tyres? Or is this a hard set of hard tyres for Max? Okay, no, he's put on a hard set of tyres. I was like, soft tyres are stupid. But yeah, they've put on a fresh set of hards for Max now. Piastri's going to continue on, I think, because Piastri doesn't have another fresh set of mediums or hards, I think. So Piastri's going to take net second place. Let's see, does he come into the pits? No, he doesn't. So Piastri's going to take second place away from Norris, and Norris drops down. Does he stay out ahead of Albon? Albon doesn't come into the pits either. Here they are. It's going to be close between Albon and Norris. Albon comes out of the pit. Albon continues on. Here comes Lando Norris. Who is it ahead? Albon stays ahead. Ooh. They've just lose out that position. It was a quick pit stop from McLaren. It wasn't even a pit stop issue, but Albon comes out ahead of Lando Norris. And oh no, they switched positions. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, it would have been so good to see a podium from Williams. Either way, though, everyone's so bunched up. Anything can happen at this point. We've got 17 laps left of this race, and who knows what's ahead of us. Okay, Hamilton comes out of the pits. We got Sainz up into 8th place. Hadjar into the pits as well. And let's see, does Alonso and Stroll... Do Alonso and Stroll come into the pits? Surely they do. Their tyres aren't going to make it to the end. And they surely double stack as well. Yeah, they double stack. They make sure that both drivers get a pit stop done under the safety car. And the Astons come into the pits. Lando chasing Max for the win in Imola 24. Same situation. Exactly the same situation today. Well, in 2024, who went on to win that race? Let's see if the same thing happens again. Safety car penalty for Norris. No, Norris. I think Norris was actually ahead. That maybe the GPS glitched or something. Like either way, they'll give out a penalty if it was deserved. But I don't think there was a penalty deserved there. Okay, and also I just do have to mention this. As I am still sponsored by Surfshark VPN, if you guys are interested in checking out and watching all of the coverage with all of the actual footage and stuff, and you don't want to pay the ludicrous prices for Sky Sports or anything like that, then all you've got to do is get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description, link in the chat, join an Austrian VPN server, search ORF into Google, and then you can enjoy the Formula One coverage. So, yeah. All right, Albon into the pits as well. I guess it doesn't even matter if Albon... was ahead or not of Norris because he came into the pits regardless now, and he's going to come out behind Leclerc, I think, but still ahead of Russell by the looks of it. Okay. Here we go then, 48 lap. We're on lap number 48 of 63, 16 laps left of racing. The safety car is out. We've got a lot of cars bunched up now behind the safety car, and the rest of the grid is approaching soon enough as well. I think there's a driver between, I think Behrman is between Verstappen and Piastri, so we'll wait and see if they give the message to let the cars pass. But normally they wait for everyone to bunch up, then they say the cars can pass. Otherwise, Verstappen will have, Oliver Behrman basically helping him out there by basically just creating a gap between himself and Piastri. All right, this is getting very exciting now. It was, someone dropped a donation probably about, 10 minutes ago saying, oh, such a boring race, Verstappen's first place, Norris in second, Piastri in third. How the tables have turned. And now, let me know who you think is going to win this race. And also, who's your driver of the day as well? I'm still going to have to go, I think, with Piastri, just because of his overtaking through all of the traffic. He did an amazing job overtaking there. Maybe Leclerc. Leclerc's up 7 places. And potentially, if he gets a good launch off the safety car, could overtake Lando Norris. And then we get a Ferrari podium in front of the Tifosi, which, after yesterday, would be mega for them. Absolutely mega. All right. Also, folks, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. It'd be fantastic if you could hit our subscriber target. If you guys don't want to pay for Surfshark, potentially win the giveaway that I'm currently running, all you've got to do is type a message into the chat and hit the subscribe button and say subscribe for a long. If it doesn't let you type in the chat, you've got to hit the subscribe button, wait 1 minute, and then it'll let you type a message. But yeah, go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested. All you've got to do is type just a hi or something along those lines, and we should be good to get entered into the giveaway. All right, yeah, 18 seconds lost. It's very unfortunate, really, for Max. He was 18 seconds clear, and he's lost a huge gap. And I suspect Behrman will also be allowed to pass. That means Piastri will be right on his tail. And, well, it's race on. It's great for us. It's great for the fans to have a battle. But you've got to feel for Max. He had an 18-second lead, and that's all been thrown away. Okie dokes. We got 5,000 people. 5,000 people hit the like button. It very much is appreciated. If you haven't hit the like button, folks, and you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to do so. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, and very much is appreciated. Keeps the channel growing, and yeah. All right. But here we go then. Safety car is still not ending, and we still haven't had Behrman being allowed to pass, which is not helpful, really. Yeah, they've got to let Behrman by, and then we'll have the safety car restart surely. But we're just waiting for the message from race control to say let the lapped cars by. We don't know when the safety car is ending. I think Antonelli's car has been recovered. As you can see here on the track map as well. In fact, let me just show you the track map. Yeah, you can see my mouse right. This is where Ocon parked up, like right there. And Antonelli parked up probably, 100 meters down the road. And then they were like, oh yeah, we're going to call a full safety car for Antonelli and only a virtual safety car for Esteban Ocon. Something doesn't line up there. And yeah, it's typical inconsistency from the stewards because that's all they are. They're inconsistent. They'll make one decision and then the next day they'll just do something different. Or not even the next day. In about half an hour's time, they'll do something different for the exact same thing. But either way, it's given us a good race, so yeah. Is there a code that you can get to discount Surfshark? I asked Surfshark for a discount code, but unfortunately they're already running like a pretty big discount of like 80% off or something if you buy the 2-year plan. So they just said that, we can't give you any more of a discount. So I do apologize. But if you use the link, it does help out the channel. Like I get like a sort of a percentage of it. So, yeah. Oh, Banana Gate, thank you for the $10 donation. This is getting exciting. Indeed it is. And which still yellow flag, double yellow, sorry, waving where the car's parked up. They've got a recovery vehicle on the road at turn number 7, and they are picking up Antonelli's car. All right. The stewards are so dumb. I agree with you. It's just on this occasion they've given us a good race rather than giving out a 10-second penalty to ruin the race. But when are they going to say let Behrman by and then we'll do a safety car restart? Everyone's bunched up. Sooner rather than later, you've got to send a message to say let the lapped cars pass. They've already taken Antonelli's car off the road by the looks of it. So yeah, we should get a safety car restart soon enough, but still don't know what's going on at race control. Yesterday it took them ages to just figure out whether Behrman had crossed the line under the red flag or not, and then they ended up still making the wrong decision. It looked like Behrman had crossed the line before the red flag was deployed, and then yeah, it was just another stupid thing from the FIA, really. This is probably why I also wouldn't get a professional Formula One commentary job, because I would just call the FIA and the stewards stupid all the time, which probably wouldn't keep me in that job very long. But anyway, you've got to be honest. You've got to be honest with what you think, and It's not ideal. Piastri, though, he's out on 20 lap old hard tyres. All right, we've finally got track is clear. Track is clear at sector 8, which is the little mini sector where Antonelli parked up on the road, which now means that Behrman should be allowed to pass. But Piastri's on the old tyres, and so is Leclerc. So we'll run through the grid positions for anyone that's listening to this like a radio broadcast. We'll have 13 laps left of racing. Verstappen's in first place. Piastri's in second with old tyres. Norris is in third with fresh tyres, Leclerc in fourth with old tyres, Albon in fifth with fresh, Russell in sixth with old tyres, Hamilton in seventh with fresh tyres, Sainz in eighth with old tyres. We're alternating between fresh and old tyres essentially. Let's wait and see what happens on the restart, though. Hadjar in 9th, Hulkenberg in 10th, Tsunoda in 11th, Gasly in 12th, Lawson in 13th, Alonso 14th, Stroll 15th, Colapinto 16th, Bortoletto 17th, and Behrman in 18th. And he's also a lap down, and we still haven't got the message from race control to let him go by. Maybe they will do a switch between Piastri and Norris. Maybe they won't. Maybe Verstappen will run away with this because he's got fresher tyres compared to Piastri. And then Piastri is going to spend the rest of the race defending against Norris. A McLaren civil war is even better than a Ferrari civil war because the McLaren civil war matters for the championship. And I can't wait to see the team radio messages coming through about these two drivers. Yeah, see, they come over the radio to Alonso, say, yeah, absolutely nothing on the track. Lewis comes over the radio, just wasting laps. Even the drivers are fed up of the FIA. What are they doing? Yeah, what are they doing? Lapped car may overtake. Finally, they've said Behrman's allowed to overtake. Okay, so here comes Behrman. He's going to get ahead of Verstappen and the safety car now. All right. Yeah, 12 laps left of racing. This is closing things up a lot. Here we go then. We've got 47,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Yeah, hopefully we can hit 160k subs, maybe even 161k if things go well. But Behrman is allowed to unlap himself and he makes his way around to the back of the pack. And surely this lap will have safety car as ending. Okay. Yeah, they come over the radio. Okay, it's likely we're in this lap. They're going to have 11 racing laps. 11 laps of defending, attacking till the end of this race. F1 Gamer, do you think Norris could win? Yeah, I mean, Piastri and Verstappen could crash into each other and Norris could take the race win. So anything can happen with everyone in such close competition. All right, and I'm just waiting for the message from race control that's going to say safety car is in this lap. Still hasn't come out yet. But let's wait and see. And if we look at this right now, currently Piastri will extend out his lead ahead of Norris, gain 3 extra points on Norris if the positions stay this way. But everything is up in the air. Half of the drivers are on old tyres, half the drivers are out on fresh tyres. We've got Tsunoda and Hulkenberg out on mediums, but they're really old. We've got Piastri out on old mediums, Verstappen out on fresh hards. Let's wait and see. Still, safety car isn't in this lap. What are they doing? Oh my God, the FIA. This is incredible that somehow they always manage to mess up just one more thing. What are they doing? Why? Yeah, Hamilton, what the hell is going on? This is brilliant from the FIA. I guess, I don't know, technically they'll be saying, oh, we're waiting for Behrman to catch up, but there's no need. The rules don't say Behrman needs to catch up, and now we've got the message from the race control. Safety car is in this lap. Okay, finally, safety car is in this lap. Yeah. You know how I had a fastest lap counter previously on the stream? We should have a stewards messing up counter just to count the amount of times they do something stupid. All right, this is crazy. Thank you again for the donation, Banana Goat. Very much is appreciated. Okay, finally, safety car is in, and we're going to have Verstappen versus Piastri versus Norris versus Leclerc versus Albon for the podium. This is going to be super duper exciting. All right, here we go then. And look at that, Behrman, purple in the final sector. He's got so much clean air. He's out on, he's purple in the final sector. Incredible from Oliver Behrman. Yeah. He's now catching up to the back of Bortoletto, and by the time the safety car's in, he will have caught up. Most laps led Verstappen, and then the safety car in second place. Yeah, that is actually true, isn't it? Because it is because Verstappen's led every lap, and then the safety car has led every other lap when Verstappen isn't leading. So technically, the most laps led in this race is Max Verstappen, and the second most laps led by any other driver is Bernd Mailander, the safety car driver. All right, anyway, safety car is in this lap finally, and we have got Max Verstappen backing up the pack, weaving left, right, getting those brakes up into temperature, and we are going to have a fantastic restart here, ladies and gents. Who do you think is going to be winning this race? Piastri and Norris, they're not even weaving left and right, they're just getting ready. When is Max Verstappen going to put his foot flat to the floor? Verstappen's speed, 70 kilometers per hour right now. He comes through the first of the Ravazza corners, foot flat to the floor, and he is right out of there. Piastri is caught napping, and he's under pressure from Lando Norris as they go down the start-finish straight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Towards turn number 1 they go, and Leclerc is right on Norris's tail. In towards turn number 1, Leclerc looks to the inside. Norris has to defend against him, and Leclerc just holds on to 4th position, and Norris is still in 3rd, and Verstappen, his mission now is to break that DRS. It's currently 9/10 of a second. Piastri's on the old tyres. It's not going to be in his favour, and it looks like it's already broken. Coming out of 7 corners, and Verstappen's already broken DRS on Oscar Piastri. Incredible. All right, here they go then, and it looks like we didn't even get any positions changed on the opening lap. We have one overtake into Piratella. That is the Ferrari. Oh, that's Yuki Tsunoda, sorry, getting ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, and yeah, nicely done there from Tsunoda. And all right, Russell up into 6th position as well. Very nice. Here we go, Franz Hermann leading this race, and he's purple in the middle sector as well, and Lando Norris is on the back of Oscar Piastri. Oh, it doesn't matter that Verstappen's running away with this. We're going to have the two McLarens start battling away, and I cannot wait. DRS is not enabled on this lap, but as Verstappen crosses the line, I think it gets enabled on this lap. Fastest lap of the race regardless for Max Verstappen, and he is 1.5 seconds clear. No issues there. We've got 9 laps left of this race. And now Leclerc, he's got to close up. DRS has been enabled. Okay, so on the next lap around, we're going to have the detection point. And the purple dot on the screen, as you can see, the purple dot next to turn number 16, that is where the DRS detection point is. So if the drivers are within 1 second as they pass through that point, then they will have DRS. So keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, I mean, a lot of McLaren drivers, a lot of McLaren fans, a lot of people are going to say, oh, if they let Norris by now, then maybe he'll be able to catch up to Verstappen. Maybe he won't. But, you know, these two drivers are battling it out for the championship. They're 1st and 2nd place. They're not just going to switch positions around for the constructors, because they know for a fact McLaren have already won the constructors. They've already got it in the bag, basically. Red Bull don't have 2 quick drivers. Ferrari do have 2 quick drivers, but have a slow car, and Mercedes aren't really in the competition. So McLaren have already got the constructors in the bag. They're not going to listen to the constructors' excuse. Oh yeah, we need to win this race for the constructors. So that goes out the window, and now it's straight track position battling between these two drivers. Here we go then. It's purple in the middle sector from Max Verstappen. Again, 2.5 seconds is the gap. And Lando Norris has got DRS on his teammate. Leclerc hasn't. Albon has got DRS on Leclerc because Albon's on fresh tyres. Leclerc isn't. Here they go towards turn number 1. Lando Norris is gaining. And can he get ahead of Oscar Piastri? Ooh, it's a tough one. He's too far back on this occasion. The gap has closed up though. It's now half a second. The tyre difference is 15 laps. Norris has 15 lap fresher tyres, which in theory should be approximately 1 second faster. But we know being 1 second faster around Imola doesn't mean anything. If Piastri can park it on the inside line, there's nothing Lando Norris can do, and Verstappen's going to set fastest lap after fastest lap and drive off into the sunset, because look at that gap. It was 2.5 seconds at the start of the lap. It's now up to 3 seconds. Huge. Fastest first sector from Alex Albon. He's going to try and close up on Charles Leclerc. The Williams is super slippery in a straight line, and he's going to do his absolute best to slipstream past the Ferrari driver. Here we go then. Verstappen purple in the middle sector, as expected, really. He's the only one that's got the clean air. But now, as they pass through the detection point, Norris has got the DRS. 0.8 is the gap. He's a 10th closer than he was last lap. So that's going to help him out. But still, it's going to be tough to get close. All right. Irfan, yep, thanks for joining the channel membership. Very much is appreciated, buddy. All right, we got Lewis as well, closing up to the back of George Russell, of course, his former teammate. Let's see what Russell does to defend against him. Hamilton's out on the fresh tyres. Russell isn't. Hamilton swoops around the outside, says, thank you very much, I'll take that position off you. And Russell struggling with his tyres and loses the place to Hamilton. We got 50,000 people watching the stream. That is incredible, folks. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing. Very much is appreciated. And if you haven't hit the like button or subscribed, be sure to do so. Hopefully, we can hit 160k subs today. That would be fantastic. All right, we have got Norris now half a second back from Piastri. Lap after lap, he's getting closer and closer, but there's only 7 laps left of this race. And the thing is now, if Piastri does go defensive against Lando Norris, guess who arrives at the scene? Charles Leclerc. He is also on old tyres, but nonetheless, that's going to mix things up. And then Albon is going to do his best as well. If Albon can overtake Leclerc, then Albon can put some serious pressure on Norris if Piastri starts defending. So it's all going to be a bit of a mess coming towards the final laps of this race. If Albon can get the overtake done, then Norris comes under some serious threat from the Williams driver, because Leclerc's on the old tyres. He's on 27 lap old hards. It's going to be difficult for him to stay on the back of Norris. However, for Albon on the fresh hards, it'll be a different story. Okay, here they are coming down the main straight, side by side in towards turn number 1. Norris tries to go around the outside. Piastri defends. Can he hold on to this second place? Oh, no, he can't. Norris just goes round the outside, says thank you very much, and Piastri on the older tyres, unable to defend against his teammate. Oh, unfortunate there for Oscar Piastri. I was expecting a bigger battle, but I guess they don't want contact between the two drivers, and Piastri loses the place to Norris, and it's up into second place for him. Now let's see if he can close up to Max Verstappen. The gap is 6 seconds. The gap is 5 seconds. And we've got 6 laps left of this race. Norris up into second place and Piastri into third. All right, here comes Alex Albon. Now, Alex Albon is practically pushing Charles Leclerc through the middle sector at this point. He's got to get the overtake done and score a 4th place, which would be the best position that Williams have finished in all season if they can finish in 4th. All right, 6 laps remaining of this race here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for subscribing. The final thing I do have to mention is just this one last time. If you guys do want to watch the Formula 1 coverage, all you've got to do if you want to watch it for $2 a month, Surfshark VPN, join an Austrian VPN server, search ORF on Google, log in, and the job done. We have over 100 people on the channel right now watching it via this method, and it works. So if you guys are interested, use the link in the description and check it out. All right, here comes Alex Albon round the outside. He goes. Leclerc goes defensive. He knows he has to fight for this one. The Tifosi are cheering him on, and here comes Alex Albon again now towards the Villeneuve chicane. Can he go round the outside like Lando Norris did on him? No, he cannot. Oh, it was so close for Alex Albon there, but he has to back out of that one, and he's got to wait to fight another day. But Charles Leclerc, what is he doing? He's backing him up, and guess who's approaching behind him? Lewis Hamilton. The Ferrari drivers are working together. Hamilton could potentially take this 5th place off Alex Albon. Max Verstappen, a 117.9, 7 tenths clear of Lando Norris. Incredible from Max Verstappen in terms of just his pure pace. And yeah, there's no chance Norris is catching up, to be honest. Absolutely no chance. So we'll wait and see what happens there. All right. Here we go then. What else? What other battles have we got going on then? Hamilton's now within DRS range. This is the last lap. If Albon can't get the overtake done on this lap, then he will probably have to start defending against Hamilton, which could put him in sort of a stalemate position. So it's now or never for Alex Albon. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's got the overtake button. Now heading towards turn number 1. He looks to the inside. Leclerc's on the inside. Albon, though, has the pace to swoop round the outside. This was the only opportunity he had to overtake, and he's just lost it. Leclerc slips by past through turn number 3, and Albon loses the position to Hamilton as well. Gets a terrible run on the exit of the Tamburello chicane and loses out, and it's 6th position for Alex Albon. Oh no. Potentially it was looking like 3rd position. Now he's dropped all the way back down to 6th for Albon. Very unfortunate for him, and it's a Ferrari 4-5. The Tifosi go absolutely wild, and they are loving this. The red smoke is out in full force, but We are on lap number 60 of lap number 60 of 63 here in Imola. We've got Max Verstappen 6 seconds clear of Lando Norris in second position, Piastri in third, and a Ferrari in fourth and fifth. I must say, a mega recovery for the Ferrari team, given how far back they were at the end of yesterday. Both drivers getting eliminated in Q2. They managed to make it through into fourth and fifth. It is an incredible recovery. Some really good strategy from Ferrari. Hopefully, they can keep that up for the rest of the season. All right. We are 49 subscribers away from our subscriber target, folks. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. Oh, we're getting a Ferrari civil war. Hamilton tries to overtake Charles Leclerc. He's on the fresher tyres. He goes to the outside. Leclerc doesn't fight this one, and Hamilton goes up into fourth. Oh, my goodness me. And the thing is, now Hamilton's ahead of Leclerc. He's now going to be told over the radio to give his teammate DRS to make sure Albon can't get past, because Albon still has got fresher tyres compared to Leclerc. There's still a chance that Albon could overtake Leclerc, but now that Hamilton is ahead of him, surely the Ferrari engineers come over the radio and say, give your teammate DRS, we don't want to lose this fifth position. He's already broken the DRS here. What is going on? You know, the Williams worked well as a team last weekend. They gave each other DRS and defended against a Red Bull Racing Bull. Surely Ferrari can do it. Come on, get over the radio. They say 3 laps left to go to Hamilton. Are they going to tell him to defend against Leclerc or something? Like, what's going on? Not defend against Leclerc, give his teammate DRS, because Albon is getting close, and there is a chance. You know, Albon got super close to overtaking Leclerc, unfortunately lost the position and then lost another one to Hamilton, but there's still a chance that he can get ahead of Leclerc. All right, Hamilton does not give his teammate DRS, doesn't even give him a slipstream. He's 1.7 seconds up the road. I guess Hamilton is trying to catch up to Piastri here. 2 laps left to go of this race, and Hamilton is on 14-lap old tyres. Piastri is on 31-lap old hard tyres, and I see why Ferrari didn't make that decision. They're like, Hamilton, come on, try and overtake Piastri on the last lap of this race. That would be absolutely mega. Albon gets incredibly close against Leclerc, but Leclerc is positioning his car perfectly. Albon can do absolutely nothing about it, and they go towards the Villeneuve chicane. Albon has to back out of this one, and he's got to wait for the final lap of the race. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the penultimate lap right now. Hamilton is closing up to Piastri. He's got a 2-second gap to close up. It's either now or never. Piastri could make a mistake. He's on 31-lap old hard tyres. All right. If Lewis can get a podium, that would be incredible. I mean, it is hammer time. K1 is available, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They come over to Leclerc saying Hamilton is catching Piastri, so you won't have DRS. Albon, be careful about him. And here they come then. This is it. Max Verstappen starts the final lap of the race. Lando Norris in second position. And we've got Piastri in third with Hamilton 1.8 seconds back. It's a little bit too far back unless Piastri makes a huge mistake here on the final lap. Let's wait and see. All right. Well, we've hit 160k. Folks, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. It's 161k is the target to hit 200k by the end of the season, so very much would be appreciated. Here comes Alex Albon for the final lap of the race. Round the outside, he goes super late on the brakes, and he finally gets that overtake done. 5th position for Alex Albon. What a move. On the last lap of the race as well. Incredible. Leclerc really hasn't got any other opportunity unless he can win the drag race out of the final corner. That is his only chance to get 5th position here, but he's on such old tyres, it's looking highly unlikely. All right, and here comes Max Verstappen through the middle sector. It is looking good. I mean, actually, it's not Max Verstappen, it's Franz Herrmann. Franz Herrmann, incredible performance from him. All right, and we got Lando Norris in second place, 6 seconds back, no threat of him. Hamilton is closing up, but he's not going to be close enough. Maybe 1 or 2 more laps. If the safety car wasn't stuck outside for so long, then maybe. But Franz Herrmann comes out of the final corner. What a drive from him on the medium tyres. Incredible performance. Out of the final corner, across the line with the checkered flag. Franz Herrmann wins the Imola Grand Prix. What a drive. Lando Norris in second place with those fresh hard tyres. Oscar Piastri in third position. Holds off Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton in fourth. The Tifosi are going absolutely mental. Albon in 5th position. Charles Leclerc in 6th. George Russell in 7th. Carlos Sainz in 8th position. Isaac Hadjar in 9th. And we've got Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. What a drive. What a race this has been. I mean, you know, we had that big old safety car right at the end of the race, which spiced things up a lot. But a fantastic drive. Franz Herrmann domination. We are in the Franz Herrmann era. Yeah, simply lovely, really. Okie dokes. Yuki Tsunoda up 10 positions. Tsunoda scores points. Started the race in 20th position, up into 10th. Incredible drive for him. And if I had to say my driver of the day, I don't know, actually. I don't know. Alex Albon, my driver of the day. He's done fantastically in the Williams, and he is my driver of the day. Let me know who your driver of the day is. But thank you everyone for tuning in, ladies and gents. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you, Banana Goat, for another donation. I will be commentating the Monaco Grand Prix. We're going to have a double pit stop in Monaco. So, typically Monaco is a boring snooze fest. However, a double pit stop forced by the FIA could really spice things up. So be sure to tune into that one. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do that. And I'm going to end the stream now. I'll take you over. Oh, thank you for the donation. Let's go, France. That is, thank you for the $20 donation. Very much is appreciated, buddy. Okay, so I will commentate... I'll be commentating the Monaco Grand Prix. Also, folks, if ORF isn't working for you for whatever reason, it is working for over 100 people, but if it isn't working for you, you can get a refund from Surfshark. So just, if it's not working, go ahead and do that. But that is all from me. I will see you in 1 week's time, just 1 week till we get to Monaco. If you guys could hit the like button and the reminder button on the Monaco stream, that really helps out the channel. I don't know why the YouTube algorithm likes it so much if you press the reminder button and the like button, but it does. So to help out the channel, if you could do that, that would be mega. And I will see you in 1 weekend's time for the Monaco Grand Prix. That's about it from me. An incredible drive from Franz Hermann, Lando Norris in second place, Piastri in third, and we've got a brilliant championship battle on our hands. Okie dokes. I shall see you in 1 week's time. Just hit the like button, the reminder button, and that's it. So I'll end the stream now. I'll take you over to the Monaco stream. Just do that. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I appreciate all the donations, everyone hitting the like button, and see you in 1 week's time, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.